ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. If you travel just 30 miles south of Atlanta toward Hampton, Georgia, you'll find the newly refurbished Atlanta Motor Speedway, site of today's Automobile Racing Club of America Motorcraft 500. It is simply a beautiful day here in central Georgia. Temperature is 51 degrees, no chance of rain, and not a cloud in the sky. Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, in college football, it takes about 2 weeks and roughly 12 postseason bowl games to decide a mythical national champion. That's not the case in motorsports. Over the next 28 hours, we will crown 2 champions in ARCA and Winston Cup. Today it's the ARCA Championship, and it's really quite simple. Young Bobby Boucher must finish no worse than 12 spots behind his nearest challenger, Bob Keselowski, to become the champion. But is it that simple for Boucher? He has been here 7 times and finished this race just once. So a lot of pressure coming from within on the 26-year-old youngster. But how about the external pressures coming from other sources, like the factories? It's awfully tough. Right, John Kernan?
Jerry, you're exactly right. Ford, a big interest in that. A lot of the Ford people, a lot of the Ford engineers have been helping out with the Boucher effort this weekend. They've been helping with aerodynamics, with the chassis. They've also been helping with the engine. And just moments ago down here on pit road, Lee Morris stopped by to wish Bobby Boucher good luck in his hunt for the championship. Now, on the other hand, it's not a Chevrolet or a Pontiac or a GM product. It is a Chrysler that is involved in this championship hunt. Bob Keselowski. Now, they are a bit disappointed. Starting ninth, they had made a special effort to try and win the pole. Came down here with a qualifying engine that was tweaked to the max for maximum performance. Unfortunately, things did not work out for them yesterday. But right now, Bob says he's ready to drop the hammer, go racing, and try to win another championship. In fact, you know, we haven't seen the likes of a Chrysler in a championship battle in stock cars in quite some time. And Benning, I think it was the heyday of Richard Petty, wasn't it?
Boy, do I ever remember those Dodge Chargers that Richard Petty used so well to win races and championships. And if you read the financial pages, who knows? Chrysler's making money. They may be back. I certainly hope so. But you mentioned Richard Petty. We won't see him ever again in a Dodge Charger or a Pontiac or a Chevrolet or a Ford. Richard Petty, his final race tomorrow afternoon. You wonder, well, who's going to replace the Pettys and the guys that are going to retire? In today's race, we've got the present and the future. We've got Mike Wallace, Rusty's brother. He's in the race. Randy Baker, Buck Baker's son, Buddy's brother. He's in the race. Rent Vandiver, Jim Vandiver's son. He's in the race. And Richard Petty's nephew, Richie Petty, started back in 40s. So, hey, guys, auto racing is alive and well.
You're right, Benny Parsons. A lot of up-and-coming stars in today's field. Let's take a look at our die-hard starting grid. The front row, a pair of brothers, as you heard Benny Parsons say. Mike Wallace, younger brother to Rusty Wallace, a new track record in qualifying over 176 miles per hour. And Randy Baker, the younger brother of Buddy Baker, will flank him in row 1. Row 2, Bill Venturini, former series champion, and Winston Cup regular Jerry O'Neill. Back to row 3, Rich Bickle, good qualifying effort, and a first-time driver here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Jeremy Mayfield. Row 4, former series champion Bob Freeback, and there's our point leader, Bobby Boucher. Back to row 5, Bob Keselowski. He's the fellow we'll be watching to make the championship work today. And Billy Thomas, the former qualifying record holder here at Atlanta. Row 6, Mickey Gibbs. Won just a month ago in Texas. Watch him to make a charge early on. And Alan Russell in the car number 69. Back to row 7, Mike Skinner and Kerry Teague. Row 8, Floyd Allen Jr., a former Robert Yates, Davey Allison car. He'll make a charge early on. And Benny back in the field, some awfully strong drivers back there toward the back of the pack.
Sure don't see Bob Shack this year. He's supposed to run a full-blown Winston Cup deal next year. Frank Kimmel, Bill Kimmel's son, who I used to race against in ARCA. Jeff McClure, whose father, BD, passed away down in Texas just before the ARCA race down there. Bob Dotter.
Sergeant Charlie Glotzback starting back in the pack. Brett Vandiver, another second-generation driver. His father, of course, Jim Vandiver, ran in the early 60s and late and early 70s. Richie Petty there, son of Maurice Petty, and the nephew to Richard Petty, starting back on row 20. And row 21, 2 regulars in ARCA Series competition. Roy Payne, last year's Rookie of the Year, who had a problem destroying a race car earlier, had to borrow a car, and Ben Hess also destroyed a race car in a backup machine.
Looks like Rusty Wallace out front there, doesn't it? But that's Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace, 33 years of age, younger brother to Rusty.
Looks like Alan Kowicki. No, that's Loy Allen. Jeff Purvis going by. Guys are weaving the cars back and forth, getting the tires warmed up, because they're going to be charging down in turn 1 about 180 miles per hour. There's Richie Petty, the car 41, and somewhere on that car it says, "By Petty."
By Petty. Richie Petty, 24 years of age. Let's take a look at this mile-and-a-half facility here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. In Hampton, Georgia, 1.522 mile oval. Pole speed, it's a record, 176.390 miles per hour. Race length, 500 kilometers. That's 204 laps. Field separation, 1.95 seconds. Talking about the Manufacturers' Championship a moment ago between Ford and Chrysler, that fierce battle up front. Well, certainly take a look at the points here. Chevrolet, 101, 6 wins. Chrysler, second with 4 wins. Those are all belong to Keselowski. Oldsmobile, third with 4 wins. Pontiac, Ford, and Buick. Now, Ford will not win the championship, but as far as the manufacturers are concerned, Benny Parsons, but they could win it as far as the champion of the series.
As the driver's champion, Bobby Bowser could certainly be the champion. Looks like Ford's not the car of choice in ARCA. I would think that that is going to change, because Ford is really making an effort to get Ford cars back to the grassroots, like Chevrolet, like General Motors has been doing for years, for the last 25 years.
And quite honestly, a lot of the ARCA drivers have purchased older Winston Cup cars for sale. And a lot of the Winston Cup cars have been in the General Motors category. Take a look at the wins this year, previous points, records. Look at Bobby Bowser. He has finished 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and currently 1st here in the finale. Keselowski going in a little bit different direction. He was 1st in 89, 2nd in 90, and 3rd in 91, trying to turn that trend around and possibly win a championship here today.
All right, Jerry, let's see if the pace car, he's going to make a hard left-hand corner pretty soon. We're coming down the front straightaway for the green flag, almost ready to go. There it is, green flag.
Field 42 strong comes roaring to life down to turn 1 for 200 laps, 312 miles of ARCA competition. Mike Wallace is pulled away by about 15 car lengths from
Jerry O'Neill.
Behind Jerry O'Neill, the car number 7 there. White red numerals Outback Steakhouse Pontiac making a move is Randy Baker.
Someone just got black flagged. It might have been Jerry O'Neill for jumping the start. I'm not sure.
Definitely O'Neill has backed out of it as Bill Venturini in the car number 25, the yellow car in the middle of your screen, begins to push a little bit in on Randy Baker's Pontiac, car number 7. They are 2nd and 3rd positions. Look at this car making a charge.
That's charging Charlie Gosback, the black 28, right on the bottom of the racetrack. Car owned by Floyd Garrett, but it's maintained by Richard Childress and his crew. There's Dennis Sesser in the orange number 4. And yes, that was the 65 car that jumped the start. Will have to go make a stop and go on pit road. Killer for Jerry O'Neill.
Well, he will not lose a lap, but a stop and go will cost him about 2/3 of a lap. As they are shuffling up front, you're watching the car number 4, Dennis Setzer, Ford Thunderbird on the inside, and Charlie Glotzback just makes it look easy there in turn 3.
He did lose a lap. There, Mike Wallace goes by him now. He is a lap down. Jerry O'Neill did lose a lap by being black flagged. And here comes Glotzback on the outside. Now he's going to look on the inside.
Charlie Glotzback won this race 2 years ago in November of 1990. Did not have a great qualifying effort. Currently back in 23rd position, but he is headed to the front in a hurry. One car slow up on the top of the racetrack to the car number 87.
Joe Nemorowski, I believe that is.
That's the Suffield, Connecticut driver. Nemorowski, after a year's absence from competition.
And Jerry, see that car? That is the car that Cale Yarborough was driving when Richard Petty won his 200th race. It's got different sheet metal, but that's the car that Cale Yarborough was driving and was beat by Richard Petty.
Let's see what happened a minute ago to Nemorowski.
Oh, he's got in the wall, and he's pushed the rear housing over. I see the left side, the left rear tire sticking out from the quarter panel. So pretty good contact with the retaining wall.
Now he will bring that car down on the apron and head for pit road. Best ARCA Series finished 5th in Daytona in 1991. Battle for second spot, heating up Venturini in the Rainac Chevrolet. Moves in on the Pontiac. Car number 25, Bill Venturini, two-time ARCA champion, running behind the second-generation driver,
Randy Baker. He helped his dad and buddy with the driving school. Sponsored by Outback Steakhouse here this afternoon. Bill Venturini, the yellow number 25, is building a shop in Concord, North Carolina. Plans on trying to run Winston Cup racing next year.
20,000 square feet worth of shop, he told me, in Concord, and a house and a gas station, and plans to run, I think, what, 10 or 15 shows next year in the Winston Cup ranks.
So Victor here today can certainly help Venturini. There's a fourth place car. That's Mickey Gibbs, isn't it, Jerry? Car 50? Yes.
Mickey Gibbs, the Slick 54, the Bobby Jones-owned car. Now, Gibbs, starting only his second ARCA race in 1992, won at Texas World Speedway in his first outing. In fact, dominated that race, led almost 130 laps.
And, Jerry, this guy started 11th, and here he went to 4th in 3 laps. So he's got a car to be reckoned with once we get all these guys together.
You might ask why some of these guys started so far back in the pack and they had quick cars, because the qualifying was limited to 1 round. If you made a mistake in qualifying on that 1 lap, you had a bad starting spot.
And it rained on Wednesday and Thursday. It rained all day. No practice for these cars. Very little practice. And there's our leader, Mike Wallace, just going away.
33-year-old Mike Wallace has the Duran Paints Pontiac at the point here in the early laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more ARCA competition after this. We welcome you back to the final stop, race number 21 on the $2 million ARCA SuperCar Series Tour for 1992. Our Speed World coverage of the Motorcraft 500 is being brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And by smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Tomorrow, lots of racing action to come your way. The King's final ride. Yes, 35 years of success comes to an end as Richard Petty will climb out of the car for the final time. And following that race, have the hankies handy, because Portrait of a King is a tearjerker. A 1-hour special, and folks, you're not going to want to miss this, because absolutely everyone involved has their chance to say goodbye to a special friend. Here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're under caution for the first time today. Lap 11, and Benny Parsons, here's what happened.
Well, Kerry Teague was coming off the second corner, racing with some cars. Let's see. That's Jeff Purvis on the outside. He goes up, can't let the car go up the racetrack the way he wants to. The car just loses control. He spins all the way down the back straightaway. And I tell you what, is Kerry Teague lucky? He doesn't hit a thing in that Kanawha insurance car, and neither does anyone hit him. And I got to give him a plug, because he's my TV repairman up in Concord, North Carolina.
Well, I hope we did a better job with your television.
Oh, he's working fine.
Well, that's great.
And he did a great job there.
He did an outstanding job. Let's check into the pits with John Kernan. John?
Guys, you may notice that Bobby Bowser's kind of dropped back in the field just a little bit. His car is pushing in the turns. Now, the first pit stop, what they're going to do, they'll make a stagger adjustment. Now, in these days of the radial tire, you don't hear us talk too much about stagger. But Bobby is on the Hoosiers, and they are a bias ply tire, so they can vary the circumference of the tires to get the handling back in line. That's an adjustment they will make in the first pit stop window.
Well, that's a Hoosier tire. It's certainly... you have the ability to make an adjustment there on the stagger, but not so with the radial tires that this fella here is using, and that is Bob Keselowski. Base camera inside the Mopar Express Lube Chrysler LeBaron. Keselowski trying to win his second ARCA championship. We're under caution here in Atlanta. Back with more after this. We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Still under caution here in the Motorcraft 500. Why the caution? Well, moments ago, Kerry Teague coming out of turn 2 in the white red numeral car number 11 inside of Jeff Purvis, the car number 1. Teague's car begins to loop, and what a masterful job he does of keeping the car down on the bottom of the racetrack, spins it back in the right direction. Joey Chitwood couldn't have done it a better job.
You know, there when the car started to go straight, he thought that, I think he let the brakes off because he felt like the car was straight, but unfortunately found it was still running about 50 miles an hour, so he had to do about 2 more 360s before he could finally get it stopped in first gear and drive away.
And indeed, he did drive away and rejoin the fray as we will get back to green flag racing action here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Motorcraft 500 ARCA finale for 1992. Lap 15 of 204, which comprise this event.
Once again, Mike Wallace is able to squirt out to about a 5 or 6 car length advantage over Randy Baker. That's Baker in the white car, Mike Wallace in the car that looks like his brother.
Take a look at Mickey Gibbs. My goodness, he has come way back in the pack, and now, folks, he's in third place.
Third spot, all the way from the 11th starting spot. We're inside the car now with Bob Keselowski. That's Bob Bree back on the right side, and Mike Skinner right directly in front of Keselowski. The 85, the black car, is Skinner. You see Venturini. You can see that Keselowski's getting that run down the straightaway just a little bit. He's able to close up in the corners, but down the straightaway, they can pull away just a bit. This one he's going to try to outrun him down the straightaway. This is a Joey Arrington engine in this car. Let these cars move around. Keselowski's not really fighting the steering wheel pretty well, Jerry.
He told me, Vinny, he thought he would have to run his race here and not worry about the championship.
Venturini, all of a sudden, 2 cars go blasting by Venturini. I'm sorry, Jerry.
Looked like this car sliding up a little bit on the racetrack. But what Keselowski was saying, he's got to run his race here and not worry about the championship so much. He's won it before. He knows he may not have the horsepower to run with the Ford that Boucher has, so I have to run my best.
Hurry abreast. Don't look out, guys. This don't work too good. No, they got through it. And that was Keselowski in the middle of the sandwich.
So much for running his own race.
Yeah, right.
Let's check in the pits with John Kearney. John?
Yesterday, early in practice, when Ben Hess wrecked down here on the front stretch, Keselowski was right behind him. He said he picked what he thought would be a hole, and it was just barely wide enough for him to get kind of through. But then he did spin the car. The car came around and hit the wall lightly on the left rear quarter panel. They were able to fix that, but when I asked Bob, I said, what went through your mind when you saw Ben get sideways? He said, hey, I thought the weekend was over for me.
Look here at Jeff, but is that Jeff McClure that's trying to get by Keselowski? Yes, it is. He's a winner in the ARCA division this year, Jerry.
Jeff hasn't won this year, but he has certainly run so well. He led a lot of laps at Pocono, one of our previous ARCA telecasts.
That's what I was saying. I thought it was. He did lead a lot of it.
Came very close to winning up there.
And here goes Mickey Gibbs by Randy Baker. Takes second spot away.
Okay.
Mickey Gibbs now taking second spot away, and we'll take a look. There's our leader right there. Mike Wallace in the car number 20, the Pontiac leading. There's Gibbs. 8 car lengths back. He's just going by the Randy Baker car in the second spot.
And here's a race. It's all going good for 2. We see Jerry O'Neill. Keselowski, Jerry O'Neill's a lap down, and here comes Jeff Purvis.
Jeff Purvis started back in 21st position in the Peters Construction Chevrolet. Here's Billy Thomas's car number 22, the Pontiac, slowing on the racetrack. Former qualifying record holder.
Just hope he gets down, because he's going about 100 miles an hour slower than these cars coming behind him.
Got a right front tire, apparently, that car number 22.
There's an opening now if he could just turn left.
Trying to get the car down gingerly, and one car coming in a hurry behind him will just get out of the outside.
Bill Venturini, I'm told, is running on 7 cylinders. One of the cylinders that died on that Rain X Chevrolet.
And there's Billy Thomas in the car number 22. The promoter at East Alabama Motor Speedway and has a race shop. Builds Gigolo chassis for a living. There's our leader, Mike Wallace.
Gibbs is coming. Get closer and closer, Jerry.
And remember the last time Mickey Gibbs teamed up with Bobby Jones and came to Atlanta and ARCA. It was November of 1988. They did the same thing they're doing right now. They came from the back, came to the front, took the lead, and won it.
You can just see him getting closer and closer to Mike Wallace.
Couple of cars in the wall. Oh, heavy contact. One car involved, car number 39, Rich Bickle.
And Keselowski was in the wreck. Bob Keselowski was in the crash. He has damage to the left front. But this is, I think that's Venturini, isn't it? There we can see the hood bent on Keselowski's car where he made some contact.
Keselowski might just have seen his ARCA championship hopes go out the window. There are the cars involved. Rich Bickle with car number 39 and car number 95, Jeremy Mayfield, the Earl Sadler and Son Racing Oldsmobile. Rescue squad's on hand immediately. Take a look. You were riding inside with Rich Bickle's Pedigree Food Dog Chevrolet.
We can see people moving around inside anyway.
They just yelled at the car to ask if it was okay. The Atlanta South Rescue Squad, among the best when it comes to extricating a driver here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Look again. Let's see what happened as they enter turn 3.
We see Bickle and Keselowski get together. Bickle comes down the racetrack, doesn't know that Keselowski is there. They make contact, and he goes up right in front of Keselowski. We can see the bang to the left front. Purvis barely gets by. Now he comes back across the racetrack. Jeremy Mayfield with no place to go spins in. Good heavy damage to both those cars.
What a job Jeff Purvis did to get by. I cannot believe he avoided that accident. Look again from a different angle.
There he goes up. Keselowski makes contact. The white and red number 1 goes right by.
Man.
Ever see Loy Allen go by on the inside? Now here comes Mayfield. Boom.
And Jeremy Mayfield, as you said, had nowhere to go. He was all the way below the white line on the apron of the track trying to avoid that incident. And here is Keselowski in the pits as his brother Ron Keselowski now goes to work on that Chrysler LeBaron, trying to pull some of the sheet metal away. How bad's the car hurt, John Kernan?
Jerry, right now it looks like just a lot of cosmetic damage, and that can be a factor right here on this track with the speeds that they run. They got that front end pushed up just a little bit. They've got they have had to tear away part of the fender that was rubbing on that left front tire. But like I said, it just looks like cosmetic damage. But maybe Benny can talk about the type of effects that will have on the handling of a race car at a track where they reach such high speeds.
Well, certainly, John, you're right. His aerodynamics is just killed on that car, so he's going to hurt him down the straightaway.
Cleanup continues there up in turn 4, getting a shot from the airship Shamu overhead here in today's Motorcraft 500. Under caution for the second time today at Atlanta Motor Speedway for a heavy impact up in turn 4. Back with more from Atlanta after this. Joining us today at Atlanta Motor Speedway is Airship Shamu, the SeaWorld blend. Shamu represents SeaWorld Marine Life Parks in Florida, California, Ohio, and Texas. SeaWorld is a world leader in marine life conservation, research, and education programs. And there's the shot, beautiful panoramic view from the Airship Shamu overlooking Atlanta Motor Speedway. There's one of the cars that's being carried to the garage area following that heavy impact up in turn 4. And here again is what happened just moments ago to bring up the second caution flag of the day.
Rich Bickle in the yellow car comes down, makes contact with Bob Keselowski. Now he spins back up the racetrack. Bob Breback goes by. Keselowski makes contact. Purvis barely gets by. But as Bickle comes down the racetrack, Jeremy Mayfield really with no place to go. Boom, right in the back of the car.
And a little bit different angle this time. You really get to respect what a great job the car number 1 did. Jeff Purvis just squeezing that car to the left just by a millimeter to get by the car number 39 of Rich Bickle, and he gets tagged by Jeremy Mayfield in the Sadler Racing Oldsmobile. Still under caution here for the second time today. Cleanup continuing up in turn 4. We'll come back with more green flag racing ARCA style after this. Stay with us. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway and back in the pits once again for one of our championship challengers, Bob Keselowski. And Benny, once again, they're working that left front fender.
Yeah, it looks like there's more damage than cosmetic. It looks like that they were in there trying to repair something that's bent. Be it a tie rod or I can imagine
I would guess a tie rod or something. The towing might be out because it looked like they were underneath the car working on something. The fellow in the red shirt was Norman McGree. Remember Ed McGree? He's from Winston Cup. That's his son.
He's a car builder.
He's a car builder.
Well, we're going to be able to see how badly that car may be hurt as far as the chassis, because when you'll see him wrestling with that steering wheel with the end car.
Yes, that's right. We have a good view of Keselowski as he struggles with the steering wheel.
John, how bad is it? Have they found something else besides the cosmetics up front on the car number 29?
Well, Jerry, the impact pushed the oil cooler, which sits up there in the left front of the nose, pushed it back so that the tire, the left front tire, was rubbing against it. So they took a hammer inside of there and beat the framework back that holds the oil cooler in place and trying to get that off of the tire. We'll wait and see if there are any other problems. They don't seem to be concerned about a toe-in knocked out or a handling problem, just getting that oil cooler pushed back.
Well, good, John, and that one reason they had to beat the roll bars is because the oil cooler is made of aluminum. They can't hit it with a hammer, because they do, they would knock a hole in it. So, there we see Richie Petty as the last white and blue, number 41, right in front of Bob Keselowski.
And coming up later today, we got a lot of action here. How about going out to the Kapalua International? Kapalua PGA Lincoln Mercury tournament from Kapalua, Hawaii, live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Mike Stanley, after the second round complete, the leaderboard -9. Behind him, Steve Pate is -8, along with Davis Love III.
You and I need to go over to Hawaii and see some of these golf tournaments.
That would be nice, Pete.
Yeah.
Boy, it's got to be beautiful over there in Kapalua. That's classic coming up at 4:30.
We can only watch it on TV, though, right?
We'll
and
hustle
wish
back and watch
and
it.
dream.
There you go. But we've got a great one here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. ARCA competition, we talked about being a championship weekend. Well, the ARCA title will be decided today and tomorrow. Yes, it's Richard Petty's last race, and we have a tremendous show for you tomorrow. But what about that Winston Cup championship to be decided among 6 different drivers?
Okay, if you're watching this race back somewhere in Ohio, Indiana, and your favorite drivers on the racetrack, we're going to let them go by the camera. You'll be able to see who's in the race, who isn't, where they're positioned on the racetrack.
And if you're from Chicago, Illinois, you're probably looking for Bill Venturini. Well, he has just gone behind the wall. We mentioned he had lost a cylinder and begun to slow on 7 cylinders in that Rain-X Chevrolet. They have pulled the car behind the wall, and now you see the crew. They're going to work.
Jerking the air cleaner off.
Bill Venturini is sitting in his car, the window net up. They're taking the air cleaner off. They're also trying to get the valve cover off the left side. Apparently a problem in the valve train. The field coming down, getting ready to take the green flag. We'll update you if we get any more information on Bill Venturini.
Getting set to go back to green flag racing. Still in the early laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lap 31 of 204, which comprises 500-kilometer event. Mike Wallace still our leader in the Duran Paints Pontiac.
Now, Mickey Gibbs has caught him. He's going to be able to do anything with him. Has Mike Wallace just been taking it easy? Or has he been running as hard as he can? It looks like, once again, he's able the first lap or so just to squirt away to a 6-8 car length advantage. Once they run a few laps, it looks like, oh, I see a smoker. It looks like there's something on the lens of our camera.
Look at the wind buffeting that camera there at the start-finish line as they come by, Benny. What, over 185 miles an hour?
I'd say about 190 when they go by that camera, because they ought to be doing well over 200 when they get down to turn 1. Looks like the lead is stabilized now between Wallace and Gibbs.
And here's the car number 2, the Hooters Ford of Roy Allen Jr., relative newcomer to ARCA competition this year.
Going by H.B. Belly, the red, white number 36. Alameda Auto Parts out of Houston, Texas. H.B. been running his car for 40 years, it seems like.
And H.B. will be 56 years of age tomorrow.
Like I said, he's been racing these cars for 40 years.
And right along with Roy Allen is the car number 1 of Jeff Purvis, as they are really shuffling it up back in there. And there's Charlie Glotzback making a move.
Charlie Glotzback right behind 10 feet away. Oh, here we are, 3 abreast going through the corner. Whoa. Looks like that Randy Baker has a problem in the Outback Steakhouse car. He is slowing dramatically, and the car is just blowing by him. Yep.
Looks like he's lost a cylinder, got a flat tire or something, because the car's going by him awfully fast. Ken Allen goes by.
What a disappointment there after sitting on the front row. His best qualifying effort here this weekend. Best ARCA Series finish is 7th in Daytona way back in '85.
John Kernan has told us that Venturini has some broken valve springs, so they won't be able to fix that car. He's out for the day.
And Randy Baker, youngest son of veteran former Winston Cup competitor Buck Baker and youngest brother of Buddy Baker, heads for pit road and will not get his first ARCA win here today.
I'll tell you what, Mike Wallace has pulled out to a 3 or 4 car length more advantage. I thought maybe Gibbs had something for him. Looks like Wallace was just kind of loafing around.
Look at this group of cars here coming out of turn 4. Great battle going on here. Lloyd Allen quickly reeled them in.
That's Mike Skinner right in front of that group.
I think it's Bob Reback, isn't it, in front of those 2 cars?
Mike Skinner is the car number 85. You're right, Bob Reback in the Oldsmobile. Used to drive a Buick. Now it's an Olds, the car number 34. Look at Purvis go to the outside. The car number 1. Whoa, and Lloyd Allen just shuts the door on it.
That is so scary, guys. Here comes Lloyd Allen on the inside. Purvis, he's trying to figure out which way to go. Tim Speedway comes in, joins the race.
Fans on their
On
feet.
the inside. Oh, did they make contact? No. It was close.
Jeff Purvis says, I think I'll just wait a minute here, catch my breath, and get a better shot at him.
Now Skinner's trying to get on the inside of Breback. Breback in the blue 34. That's Mike Skinner on the inside. All right, here's the points leader, Bobby Bowser in the 21 Ford, and right behind him is Keselowski. And he goes by him, he's passed him, even though he's got the damaged left front fender. There he goes by Bowser.
They were in 20th and 21st positions, respectively, here in the field, and now Bobby Bowser, remember, he just has to finish within 12 spots of Keselowski to become the champion, so he doesn't get too concerned, I wouldn't think, this early about being passed. Let's check in and see exactly how Keselowski's car is handling. Now, remember, we saw the earlier damage. John Kernan, what's he told his crew?
Just talked with Ron Keselowski. He says, hey, it's not that much of a problem right now. We just saw him pass Bowser, who Bowser, by the way, had pitted. They took a half round to bite out of the car, and they also changed tires and made that stagger adjustment, as we said. But Ron said that the car, as far as chassis-wise, it's fine. And so far, Bob hasn't really said anything bad about it. So apparently, that's not causing a problem down the straightaways with that big hole in that fender.
Certainly doesn't seem to be bothering him in the corners because he's blowing by these cars in the corner.
Boy, picking them off one at a time. Now being shown in the 17th position. He was 22nd at the restart here about 8 or 9 laps ago.
Once again, inside the car with Keselowski. We see he's still not fighting the steering wheel. Very, very smooth through the corners.
Moving in on Kerry Teague in the car number 11. That's the white car in front of him. There is where Keselowski's position. Well, our leaders are just about a full lap away.
About a half a lap in front of Keselowski. Mike Wallace, a Duron car, Duron paint.
That's a Pontiac. Looks like one of the Roger Penske cars. In fact, it was purchased from the Roger Penske stables. Still in the early laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Mike Wallace, our leader. Vicky Gibbs in close pursuit. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Motorcraft 500, Mike Wallace, our pole sitter, exactly where he started the race, up front. Second is Mickey Gibbs, but what a battle we have got brewing back for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They have been really shuffling the deck. There is Lloyd Allen Jr., the car number 2, the Hooters-sponsored Ford Thunderbird.
He's currently in 6th spot. And we see that's Tim Speedway right behind him, the Motorcraft Fast Lube automobile. Looks like Venturini's going back on the racetrack.
6th, 7th, and 8th, Lloyd Allen, Tim Speedway, and Bob Reback, the 1990 ARCA Series champion.
And here comes Purvis trying to get by Mike Skinner. Skinner having a great run in that Glidden car.
Outstanding run for Mike Skinner. He is currently being shown in the 4th position. The Phoenix-sponsored machine is is in fifth spot. Car number 1, Jeff Purvis, 33-year-old driver from Clarksville, Tennessee. 3-time dirt track racing champion.
Trying to get by. Skinner can't quite make it. Does Skinner live in Randall, North Carolina?
That's where he's from, California. Originally drove a lot on the West Coast in Southern California. You're right, Trey. Now makes his home in Randleman. California late model dirt champion at Cedarville Raceway.
You guys have heard of those heads from Randleman, North Carolina? Yeah, I'm sure.
Good run for Mike Skinner, car number 85. Taking a look from the...
Oh, and Skinner spins. And Purvis this time can't dodge it. Makes some contact, but not a lot of damage. The greenback, I thought was going to run in the back of Purvis.
Unbelievable that Mike Skinner, after having what has got to be his best super speedway run in the early laps here, would spin and have heavy damage to the car number 85.
Oh, man. Let's take a look again and just see what happens. Going down in the corner, there's Skinner, Purvis. Skinner goes in. When he turns the steering wheel, the car just goes around. And he goes up the racetrack. We see him go up the racetrack, and this time Purvis, he's trying to stop. And I don't know, he did make just slight contact, but I don't think it hurt Purvis's car.
That is 2 serious incidents that Jeff Purvis has been able to dodge in less than 30 laps.
Let's look at it one more time. Skinner goes down in the corner. Purvis closes in behind him, and around he goes. He just goes right at the accident like you're supposed to, but the accident never leaves. It's supposed to go down the racetrack. Finally, and here comes Breback. I thought he was going to run right in the back of Purvis, but fortunately he missed him.
Bob Breback coming by in the car number 34, keeping his car up high. Here is Mike Skinner. Lap 48 under the third caution flag of the day. Heavy damage on the back of that Glidden Chevrolet. And first pit stop of the day for the lead twosome. Mike Wallace in the car number 20, and behind him, Mickey Gibbs. They come down pit road very slowly and deliberately and head for their pits.
Very, very slow. I don't know what the speed limit is on pit road today. I would guess probably 40, 50 miles an hour. And they can't go faster than that. Wallace comes to a stop. 4 tire change. Right side's being changed. We see a fellow taking the lug nuts off the left side. There's the 50. Jeff Purvis coming in the pits. Also, Glossback is in. Here comes the Ken Allen car, number 3. They find, something's got a problem with the left side on the 20 car.
That's Buddy Parrott and the Rusty Wallace Penske crew that's pitting Mike Wallace in the car number 20. They've made a 4 tire change. He is pulling out and away. We've yet to see Mickey Gibbs' car pull out. Now there's Gibbs coming down pit road in the slick 50.
He's taking the lead. He is taking the lead on the pit stop. And the 28 car missed his pit, I think. One of our guys said he missed his pit. He tried to spin in the middle, and his pit was way off down the racetrack. He finally found his pit, though, as we see all the cars leaving the pits, once again under the speed limit. And there we see Glossback. They have the tire change complete, and he's back on the racetrack.
That is a Floyd Garrett-owned machine purchased from Richard Childress, and it's the Richard Childress Dale Earnhardt crew that's pitting that car. Down pit road as Charlie Glossback now heads back to the fray, a former winner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Still working caution for the 3rd time today here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for an incident involving Mike Skinner out of turn 2. Back with more after this. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway is still under caution. We mentioned this moments ago, some confusion possibly for Charlie Glotzback, the car number 28 pitting. Let's show you what happened. Now, he's the black car on the left of your screen, the white number 28. He is being pitted by the Dale Earnhardt crew, which normally has a signboard number 3.
Well, there's the number 3. He saw the 3 board. He said, that must be where I'm pitting. But unfortunately, not on down the road, Charlie, and he goes down to his pit. We see the 3 for Ken Allen, and he mistook that for his pit board and stopped in the wrong pit.
So, accidents happen. That happens. I mean, a little bit of confusion in the pits, and then you try to come down. As a driver coming down pit road, I mean, absolutely, it's got to be very confusing.
It's very difficult. It is. John Kernan, what's going on with Bobby Bowser?
Hey, you talk about hearing ghosts and stuff toward the end of the race. Well, Bobby's got this championship on the line today. He may be hearing some ghosts early on in the stages of this event. About 10 laps ago, he had radioed in and told his crew chief, he said, hey, I think I've got a tire going down. The car just doesn't feel right. It doesn't want to turn in the turns. And he said, no, you just hang in there. We made the adjustment. Give it a couple of laps. It'll come around to you. It'll be okay. He said, no, I've got a flat tire. I know I've got a flat tire. We're going to have to pit. Well, he didn't. They talked him into staying out there. He didn't pit. Everything's fine. He didn't pit this last time. And I believe, is he posted as the leader right now? And I think that's worth about 10 bonus points, isn't it?
Indeed it is, John. He is the leader. We are showing lap 49, now lap 50 here in this ARCA event. Lots of action yet to come today, but how about tomorrow, live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the last ride for the King, and who will be the 1992 Winston Cup champion? Live flag-to-flag coverage of the Hooters 500 coming your way at 12:30 p.m. And following that, Portrait of a King, brought to you by First Brands, a 1-hour special. And folks, get the hankies handy because it's an emotional tribute to a man who certainly deserves it, King Richard Petty. And then hard-hitting action later on tomorrow night. The New York Giants take on the AFC West leading Denver Broncos. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will be on hand at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to bring you all the action, the NFL on ESPN. So lots of activities coming your way tomorrow on ESPN here, starting out with that Hooters 500.
All right, we see the Randy Baker car on the inside of Bobby Bowser. He slowed dramatically. Looked like he had lost a cylinder or something. I don't know if he had a flat tire and has corrected it. We'll see when they throw the green flag, and we can see him lining up for the green flag, which will be in about half a lap.
Showing 51 laps complete, 204 laps in this 500-kilometer event. If you just joined us, Mike Wallace was the pole sitter, has led all the laps early on until pitting just moments ago under the third caution flag of the day. A little bit of a delay in his pits for a four-tire change has pushed him back into the fourth spot here at the restart. Watch for Wallace in the black and white numeral car number 20, the Pontiac, to make a charge when they drop the green. And they are indeed about to drop it here, coming out of turn 4 to restart the Motorcraft 500.
Here we see Mickey Gibbs. He's the fourth-place car, I believe. Yes, he's the fourth-place car. No. Ooh, look at Jerry O'Neill. Go right on the inside. He's trying to get a lap back. He's got his best opportunity right now. Remember, he was penalized on the start of the race for jumping the start.
Jerry O'Neill in the car number 65. Just to the left of your screen. To the right, that's Randy Baker in the car number 7. And coming beneath them two, those two cars.
Wallace trying to get by. The Mickey Gibbs car not able to make it that time. Bowser still leading the race. And here comes O'Neill right off the corner like he shot out of a cannon. Pulls alongside Bowser. Oh, here. Mike Wallace tries to go on the outside. Is he going to go on the apron?
Mike Wallace on the bottom of the racetrack in the car number 20. Pontiac on the inside. Ford Thunderbird up high. They're Torador off turn 4. And they are battling for the lead. So the car in front of them has just unlapped itself. That, of course, is the machine of Jerry O'Neill.
Mickey Gibbs has the lead. Wallace trying to get by. Wallace still in the paint. Mickey Gibbs out of Alabama. Mike Wallace out of Missouri. And Jerry O'Neill, the fellow in 65, the black 65, right in front of these guys from New York.
Jerry O'Neill had qualified for it, and if you just joined us now, as Wallace looks to the inside and will try to take the spot away from Mickey Gibbs. Gibbs jumps back in the throttle, has a lot of horsepower off of turn 2.
I tell you what, you run high, you get that momentum off the corner, but this time has Wallace got him. Side by side up through the corner.
Take a look from the airship Shamu, and looks like Mike Wallace will take the spot away. Mike Wallace driving a car purchased last Monday by a friend of the family from Penske Racing. And the car you see moving into your picture there in a hurry is the car number 2, Loy Allen Jr. from Raleigh, North Carolina. 3-time pole sitter in the 1992 season. The Hooters sponsored Ford, and today he is now being shown in the 3rd position.
And this is a test run for Loy Allen. If he does well, he just may have sponsorship next year from the Hooters people. That's what they announced last night at the Grand Marshal Center. Also, the Miss Hooters contest.
Which I think
somebody had to do it, so
I'll
just go ahead and do it, yeah.
what bloodshot eyes we had. And the championship battle we've been following all afternoon. To the left of your screen, Bob Keselowski. And to the right, Bobby Boucher.
That's 7th place. Keselowski in 7th place. And your Wallace trying to get by Jerry O'Neill. Meanwhile, Mickey Gibbs right behind, hoping that Wallace will make a slip so he can get by again. Retake the lead.
Pretty good run from Jerry O'Neill, although he lost some time at a lap by being black flagged for jumping the start early on. He is running a pretty good clip out there to stay in.
Car is running well, Jerry. You're right.
Mike Wallace to get the new number. We're talking about testing markets. Mike Wallace told me that the Ron people there, the Pates people, are testing the markets here in ARCA to see about a possible future venture for him, either in ARCA or Busch Grand National for 1991.
I'll tell you what, he's sure getting some exposure today. There's no doubt about it. Here we see Jeff McClure down on the inside of Randy Baker. Goes right on by, and here comes Keselowski. That's Kerry Teague on the outside. Remember Kerry Teague who spun early on? He changed 4 tires, did not lose a lap. He's currently showed in 4th position. I think that's 5th position.
Now riding inside with Bob Keselowski, 42-year-old veteran, former ARCA champion. Right in front of him, taking a look at the car number 89, Jeff McClure from Harrisburg, North Carolina. 60 laps are complete. Lots of exciting laps remain here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more after this. And we welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. John Kernan, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Pudge, bringing you the ARCA finale. Who will be the 1992 ARCA champion? And take a look at some of the action going on here. There is Bob Keselowski in the car number 29, just in front of the 11 car of Kerry Teague, just behind the car number 89 of Jeff McClure.
Looks like Kerry Teague has caught this duo and is a little bit faster if he can just get by. A caution flag.
Craig Rubright in the car number 15 has tagged the wall to bring out the caution for the 4th time today.
Some damage. He tries to drive the car away. Trying to get it started and get it rolling.
Craig Rubright out of Largo, Florida, just up at the entrance of the pits there in turn 4. You see the Budweiser sponsorship on that car. Now, he doesn't really have a Budweiser sponsorship. He's the chief financial officer for an Anheuser-Busch dealership down in southern Florida.
So that's the local Bud distributor in southern Florida.
Exactly, and he has shortened that car a little bit. They'll have to go back and do some work on that Oldsmobile. Craig becoming a regular in ARCA competition.
Here it comes down pit road, right straight towards our camera. We can see not too much damage on the front. The back end kind of smashed in. Eagle Snacks got crumpled. They took that pack and just crumpled it right up.
Here again, let's take a look. And he does tag that concrete wall there between turns 3 and 4. Loops it around, the front end misses, but the damage has already been done as he brings it across the racetrack in front of traffic and to a halt there on the apron. And here's what's left of that Eagle Snacks pack on the back of that Budweiser Oldsmobile as the crew goes to work there trying to get the car. Apparently, they're going to just jack some of that sheet metal away, and he's going to continue to go.
Looks like it. Looks like they're going to just get the sheet metal off the tire and say, okay, Craig, go try it again. Engine's still running. We hear the engine running in the car. Here comes Bowser down pit road. Remember, he did not pit the last time. He's going to come in this time, make his pit stop. Jeff Purvis coming in.
And Bobby Boucher had been falling back just a little bit. Remember, he's on the Bias Ply Hoosier tires. Jeff Purvis, who had been the 10th place car, also in the pits. Getting a nice shot of pit road. And we'll look there for the others on pit road. Here's the car number 1 of Jeff Purvis. The James Finch crew going to work on that machine.
We see him beating the spoiler back just a little bit, making the car a little bit looser. Evidently picked up a little bit of push.
Bobby Boucher, brother Gary Boucher, the crew chief on that car, and of course Dad Jack, the 3-time ARCA champion.
That was Gary Bowser on the right front, and another brother on the right rear. But they decided now to change the other two tires. That's Todd Bowser changing the left rear.
That's probably a good move in it because the lug nuts were already off the left rear tire.
That's probably a good move, is right.
That car is sponsored by Quality Farm and Fleet. Basically, I was told it's a 7-Eleven for farmers. Out there, they've done it all. So Bobby Boucher exits the pits after making a routine pit stop. We'll have more exciting ARCA action from Atlanta Motor Speedway after this. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, our beautiful overhead shot, courtesy of the airship Shamu, piloted by Alan Judd and co-pilot Bill Steeker. The cameraman Scott Johnson, based in Orlando, Florida. There's a good look at the airship Shamu from SeaWorld. And out on tour, the blimp assists scientists studying endangered manatees and other marine animals along the Florida coast. Today, it's studying some of the best ARCA drivers we've seen in a long, long time.
Might be some endangered species out there. Who knows?
And they're putting a little tape on the car number 1 a minute ago in the pits. Jeff Purvis, why would he be taping the front of the car?
2 reasons. Because it's very cool out today. The engine may not be running as hot as they'd like for it to bring it up to that maximum operating temperature. Also, that will also make the car handle a little bit, make it looser if they put tape on the grill.
Well, there's Craig Rubright, who brought up this caution flag for the 4th time today. The Largo, Florida resident, have the car behind the wall. Here's Jeff Purvis. Back, you see the tape on the front of the grill there Benny was just talking about. Apparently, it looks like he has some damage on the front of that grill as well. Maybe where he came together with the car that spun a little earlier.
That's right. When Mike Skinner spun, he made some contact. They might be trying to tape that together. As a matter of fact, that's a piece of plexiglass. It may have cracked it. They may be taping that together.
Still under caution here for the 4th time today. Why the caution? This incident right here. Craig Rubright's contact with the wall. Back with more from Atlanta in a moment. Getting set to restart racing action here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Motorcraft 500k. Safety car begins to pull away. We've had 4 cautions today. The latest one brought out just moments ago by Craig Rubright, who has parked his Oldsmobile behind the wall. And now Mike Wallace will lead the field down. Still some 36 cars in contention at lap 71. Back to green flag racing.
Wallace still leads 56. Once again, Jerry O'Neill in the black 65 trying to get a lap down. He has stopped to change tires, so maybe the fresh tires will give him the advantage he needs to get in front of his leader, Mike Wallace, to get a lap back.
There's Mickey Gibbs in the car number 50, the Ford Thunderbird, the Bobby Jones on the machine, the Slick 50 sponsorship, and he's beginning to reel in Wallace.
And Jerry O'Neill slipped that in. Say what, Jerry, that's an awesome sight as those cars go by about 180 miles per hour. I stood down there today about where the camera is. It really is awesome to watch those cars go right by.
And when you think of this track being 1.5 miles, as you look at Gary O'Neill, who's finished 5th this year in the car number 65, that's coming to Texas.
And Loy Allen in the Hooters Ford.
And he was the pole sitter at Texas World Speedway back in September, ended up finishing 3rd.
He's the 3rd place car. And the black and pink number 89 is Jeff McClure. He's currently in 4th place. This is a race for 3rd spot. And watch Purvis. He started at the rear of the pack, made several pit stops, trying to weed his way through this traffic. It's Bobby Bowser, a point leader.
They are 18th, 19th, and 20th. And car number 66 you're seeing up there on the screen, that is Jerry Knowles from Tyrone, Jordan, W.J. Fleming's Insurance Chevrolet. Whoa, watch Purvis. As he was making a move to the inside, you now taking a look at the battle here between the car number 2 of Loy Allen and Jeff McClure. That's for 3rd position.
Jeff McClure pulled up right on the back bumper. That white car that just closed in so rapidly just a minute ago is Alan Russell driving Dick Bear's car. It closed in right behind Jeff Purvis. And meanwhile, we're watching Loy Allen, number 2, and also Jeff McClure in 89. John Kernan has an update on McClure.
Well, Benny, you talked about how McClure started pretty far back in the field. Talking with Terry Allen, his crew chief today, and I asked him, you know, what happened during qualifying? He said, well, Jeff, just made a mistake going into turn one. He didn't drive in quite deep enough, and when you do that, you lose to speed on this racetrack. But Terry told me the car was set up for some long runs. He said if they can stay out of trouble and work their way to the front, that they will be a car to be contended with today.
Indeed, Jeff McClure has run awfully well in our ESPN televised ARCA events. He finished second at Pocono in June, third at Pocono in July, and fifth at Talladega.
Here he comes up high, trying to get momentum. Allen gives him a little bit of room, and here he comes. They're side by side going in turn 3. Ooh, a slow car was down there. That's Rhett Vandenberg, car number 91. The Legends of Racing automobile. Grandstand cam. These guys, as hard as they're racing, Jerry, they're not losing much ground on our leader. Oh, here he comes again on the outside. He scared Loy Allen to death that time, I think.
Loy Allen coming off that third place finish in Texas cannot hold the spot, and Jeff McClure, 25 years of age, from Harrisburg, North Carolina, takes the spot away. So McClure will take the third position and shuffle Loy Allen back to fourth.
Look at McClure. Tell you what, we might have Barry Teague, who spun just a few laps into the race, passes the 29 car. That's for fifth spot. Like I said, he's my TV repairman out of Concord, North Carolina.
Normally runs the Concord Motor Speedway, the half-mile asphalt. Also runs Myrtle Beach, still a 0.6 of a mile. Down on the coast.
Inside Bob Keselowski's car. Keep wanting to call him Ron Keselowski because I raced against Ron Keselowski, his brother and crew chief, but this is Bob. Let's just listen as he gets on the gas, off the gas. Down the, a spin down the front straightaway. Let's see, who was that, 81?
That's Billy Bigley Jr. from Naples, Florida.
Remember, he led our All-Pro race up in Nashville, Tennessee.
He was being shown in the 17th position, a veteran of the NASCAR Winston All-Pro Series, and looks like he shortened that machine up a little bit with some contact. The Trans-Pro transmission Chevrolet.
Hey, Jerry O'Neill, did he finally get his lap back? Hey, how about that?
Jerry O'Neill, that's an Olds Cutlass, owned by Alan Aronek out of Auburn, New York, who is the car owner and engine builder. So Alan's going to be pretty happy the way that car is performing here today. On lap number 80, as we are seeing caution for the 5th time. Once again, looking up toward turn 4. Let's see if we can check exactly what may have happened to Billy Bigley.
Well, we see him going around, and I can't see that car, that orange car that was going by. I guess that was Dennis Setzer. And whether or not there was any contact between those cars, I don't know. Bigley goes down and does a good job not to get in the inside guardrail. There's a mark where he first made contact, so there's pretty heavy damage to that automobile. Skid marks leading down to the infamous black mark. All the way back. Somewhere right there is where he started spinning. There's Billy Bigley.
And there's a 30-year-old driver, 6-year veteran of the NASCAR All-Pro Series. Only his 3rd ARCA start as he climbs over the wall and gives the thumbs up, indicating maybe a little bit afraid for a few moments, sliding sideways with that field of cars bearing down on you, but apparently he is okay. Under caution for the 5th time today here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lots of laps left to run here in the ARCA finale. Back with more after this. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, that is Bob Keselowski sitting inside that Chrysler LeBaron on pit road, and now he puts it back in gear and pulls away. Why the caution? Well, Billy Bigley Jr. spun the car, tagged the inside wall, and now he has found his way over to John Kernan.
Well, Billy, about scared me to death there. You hit on the pit wall right in front of me. That was quite a wild ride. What happened?
Well, we really don't know yet. We think the right front of the right rear tire blew out. The car was driving perfect. They gave me a good race car, and we were just out there riding around there. We were following Charlie Glossback and trying to get a little bit of experience out there. It's the first time we were here. I just come off of 4 and the car turned sideways. And as soon as it got on the inside wall, we just did the best we could to keep it in the wall so we didn't get back in front of anybody.
I started to say you had like a whole wagon train full of people, locomotives steamrolling down through there. That's going to be quite an experience.
Yeah, it was. It was a real good time. I mean, being the first time we were here, and we ran behind Charlie for a long time, we really had a good time.
I meant about the sliding down the wall and seeing all that traffic bearing down on you.
Well, one thing I got to give to my crew, as soon as the car hit the wall and turned back around, and it faced forwards, they told me, they said, just keep it up against the wall, don't get back into traffic, and that's what we tried to do.
Well, he hit pretty hard, but he looks okay.
Billy Bigley Jr. finished third in the All-Pro points in the 1992 season. Only his third ARCA start. It will come up a little bit short, as will his Chevrolet Aluminum by contact with the inside wall.
Sure, why is it that people have all that hair, let it all grow so long? Why?
Here's the car number 65, Jerry O'Neill. Got his lap back, picking up some fresh tires, and you saw moments ago a great crowd on hand here enjoying a beautiful Chamber of Commerce weather in central Georgia, as Jerry O'Neill now, I imagine, can afford to smile knowing he's got that lap back and he's got fresh tires, and he's ready to race.
He's ready to race. We saw the Country Time crew. They're changing tires on the automobile, so Bobby Hamilton's crew is doing double duty today and tomorrow. Bob Goddard going by. There's Keselowski. He made a pit stop. There's the Country Time crew.
Bobby Hamilton's crew will be pitting that car tomorrow. The TriStar Motorsports efforts.
Say what, Hamilton's been running awfully well last couple of races.
Well.
Yes, he has. What about Rick Mast on the pole?
Rick Mast. And they have been getting stronger and stronger, the Richard Jackson team, in the past few weeks, and I believe that they're really going to show some people what they can do come tomorrow. But let's show you what can happen here in ARCA racing. And once again, Mike Wallace leads him down lap 84. Not even halfway there. And remember, we're talking about that championship battle at the top of the show. Bob Keselowski and Bobby Boucher. Ron Keselowski, and you got me doing it now.
It's Bob.
It's Bob Keselowski.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay?
You had it right to begin with.
Looking at you. And Bobby Boucher, those two vying for the championship. And up front right now, it's Mike Wallace with Ron Pate's Pontiac.
Keselowski made some pit stop the last time, so right now, Bowser would be the point leader. You know, if they figure the points right now, but we've got to wait till the end of the race and figure the points then. Keselowski's car is stronger, faster than Bowser's today. But can he make up the difference? We'll have to wait and see. There he goes, trying once again to get his way, weed his way through the traffic. There comes Jerry O'Neill at that black car. Jerry O'Neill with those fresh tires trying to get by Keselowski. Are we going to go 3 abreast? Yep. Are we going to make it?
Whoa, whoa! This runs right into the back of Dave Simcoe's car number 51. What could have happened? Could he have been looking to the right to see if there was another car in that same?
I don't think that he saw. I don't think he ever saw Simcoe. I just don't think he ever saw him.
Jerry O'Neill, the Auburn, New York driver, working his way through traffic, just punts Dave Simcoe.
And look at the damage to the front of that car. And I tell you what about Keselowski? Did he get through another one? Let's see. There's 3 abreast that go down. It looked like everything is okay, but all of a sudden, boom, there's the 51 car. And Keselowski goes up and makes contact, a little bit of contact.
He had to have been looking to his right to see that 3 cars,
Yeah,
Keselowski, the middle car, and the car on the outside, plus looking up at Bob Donner in front of him, and I'm sure he never saw Dave Simcoe.
I'm sure he never saw Dave Simcoe. He couldn't have, otherwise he would have never hit him with the force that he did. There's the Country Time crew we talked about just a couple of minutes ago. I guess they've gotten the bad news by now that tells them that O'Neill is going to be out of the race.
Now the car rolls down across the racetrack. Heavy damage.
Wow.
In front of that car number 65.
Who's driving that car?
Sure enough, he has the car refired.
And you know, he crashed a car trying to qualify for the Winter Cup race today. During second round qualifying, did about the same thing to his other car.
Let's watch once again if we can see exactly what happens here. Keselowski, the car number 29. O'Neill, the 65. Keselowski makes a move. Now they're 3 wide, headed to turn 3.
Bob Schacht on the outside in the 75. They go in, and there's Bobby Donner in the 8. And look at Dave Simcoe. Dave Simcoe was going slow, and all of a sudden, boom, O'Neill just right in the back of his car.
once again. Now, Simcoe, he was down in the bottom groove. He couldn't have gotten any further left unless he would have gone to Griffin, and he still gets tagged from behind.
And we see the left front tire on Shaq's car smoking, so he had some pretty good contact with Keselowski. I tell you what, Keselowski's got 9 lives today.
And he will make his way to pit road. Remember, a 65-point differential. I'm not sure Keselowski has led a lap yet. We know that Bobby Bowsher has led a lap, so he will get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. The differential could now be 70 points. As Keselowski brings the Chrysler on the pit road. There's brother Ron and the crew coming over. Norman DeGree.
Sound like he shut the engine off. No, I guess we just went away from that microphone.
Whew. Trying to put a huge duct tape Band-Aid over that opening there in the left front hood. Some of that black tape they had to try to help the car a little bit aerodynamically. This track, awfully, with the speeds here, Benny, you really need that.
Yes, you need the aerodynamics desperately.
And here's Jerry O'Neill's 65 car. He's made its way back to pit road, and John Kernan is there.
Well, looking under the hood, they've got the radiator pushed all the way back up against the fan. They've got a lot of front-end damage right now. The crew talking with Jerry, so we don't want to stick the microphone in there and bother him right now. They're trying to figure out what had happened. I talked to his crew, and they said, well, he just came up on some lap traffic, and things didn't go the way they should have. But it looks like it could be a terminal down here, or either that or they're going to be having a lot of work ahead of them. It may be quite a while before we see Jerry O'Neill back out on the racetrack today. This is the second time he's had a wreck today. In second round Winston Cup qualifying today, he lost it over in 3 and 4 and hit the wall pretty hard. So Jerry is now climbing out of the car. We'll see if we can get over and get a word with him. Jerry, you're out there got into some lap traffic. Were you looking up at Keselowski, or what happened?
Well, I was looking up at Keselowski, and I got underneath him, and he seen I was there. He backed out of it, and the 51 car there was going about 20 miles an hour in a low groove, and I had no place to go. I just hit the back of him. You know, he shouldn't really be out there going this slow.
But you're all right.
Oh, yeah. It's got tore up race car. You know, wreck one in qualifying, wreck one now, and it's bad. We could have won this race, you know. It's unfortunate for the team. But the crew worked real hard at it, and the country time guys come over and pitted for us, and we had a real good run going.
That's Jerry O'Neill. Had a tough day for him, but hey, there's always next year.
That's tough for him, because he could have won the race today. Here we are, 3 abreast. Now they go in the corner. He realizes, hey, man, I'm in no man's land. He looks up to see how much room he has. Then he looks back. Boom! You know, he looked up to see how much room he had. If it was, in fact, going to be 3 abreast, which it was, but when he looked back in front of it, the yellow car filled up the windshield.
And Dave Simcoe could not have gotten any further out of the way unless he had taken the car and parked it in the infield somewhere. He was on the bottom groove there, and his car now heads back down pit road to get more service from his crew. We're under caution, believe it or not, folks, for the 6th time today in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more action after this. Stay with us. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Motorcraft 500. Still under caution for the 6th time today. Lots of action yet to come. 7 o'clock tonight, our college football scoreboard show. And then 7:30 tonight, CFA action from Starkville, Mississippi, as Jackie Sherrill's Mississippi State Bulldogs try to derail the Crimson Tide's national championship hopes. Number 2, Alabama, and number 16, Mississippi State, coming up at 7:30. And here comes our leader on pit road, and John Kernan is there.
Well, Mike Wallace unexpectedly ducked onto pit road, and the guys just sprang immediately into action, grabbed 4 tires, and came down. We're getting the 1 lap to go signal, so obviously he felt he had a tire going down. And also in the 11 car, Wallace's work being finished on the left side. Left tire is going on. Last time, remember, they had a problem in the pits. They didn't get all the lugs off of one of the tires. Now also on the left rear tire, they had a bit of a problem, but he is down and away. Mike Wallace, who was the leader, heads back out onto the racetrack, and they'll be going green shortly.
There's the 55 car, Tim Fedowa, running awfully well. The Ray and Diane Sweat machine, sponsored by Motorcraft, Fast Loop, Radius Racing. Fedowa, a former ASA Rookie of the Year last year. Best 1992 finish on ESPN 3rd in Pocono at ARCA competition. And he was being shown in the 4th position prior to that pit stop. Now, there are 19 cars on the lead lap. So that means that Fedowa and our previous leader, Mike Wallace, will go at the tail end of that lead lap
But there had to be a reason why Mike Wallace pitted. I would think that he feels like he can make it with one more pit stop if he stopped right then. And the other cars will have to make 2 pit stops. Could be a strategy move. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, they said they could go 60 laps on fuel, so we'll have to wait and see. That would put him about lap 150, and that would just about make it for Mike Wallace on one more stop. So deduction here in the booth by Benny Parsons. Very good. These things will go back to green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Some guy told me that. And there goes Jeff McClure. He has the lead. And Jeff Purvis. We got 2 Jeffs. Now, too, we got enough Jeffs and Bobs to go around here, don't we? And look at Purvis. No, closes up right on the back bumper. There's the 64 car. Jerry White, Steve Perry. A sprint car driver out of Texas. I talked to him today. He really wants to go racing. Busch, Winston Cup, doesn't matter.
And here's Mike Wallace back in heavy traffic behind Johnny Chapman, the car number 47, the former NASCAR Dash Series champion. Wallace picking him off, goes very high up in turns 1 and 2.
And Charlie Glossback down on the inside. He goes by him. Someone was black flagged in this group. I don't know who it was. The ARCA officials black flagged someone for Speedway. They say Tim Fita had jumped the start. On the restart, he has been black flagged. Oh, and the 05 car goes up and hits the wall.
That's Gary Tootle out of Claxton, Georgia. He bounces it off the wall once, make it twice.
The right front tire evidently went flat on that car or something.
See Fita going by, and that's
he's broken a ball joint. He has broken a ball joint. The right front wheel is just gone off the car.
Heavy damage on the right side of the Chevrolet of Gary Tootle, the car number 05.
We still haven't seen the caution flag, but I don't know if this car is going to turn when he gets to the corner. Yes, it does.
This young man had no previous racing experience. He had 2 previous ARCA starts. This was his 3rd one today. And he was just in front of the leader, Mike Wallace, who makes a move to the inside, and watch Tootle's car across the track.
I mean, something broke in the right front. It looked like the lower ball joint broke, and he went up into the wall, and still there hasn't been a yellow flag. They're waiting on him to get back to the pits, and he may make it back. Luckily, no one ran in the back of him because of that heavy traffic behind him. And Tim Fiedler comes down pit road to acknowledge his black flag, so he'll lose a lap. There's Speedway going down. Stopping. The ARCA officials, okay, go ahead.
And here's Mike Wallace, our pole sitter and previous leader, who had to restart back in 19th spot after that late pit stop a moment ago. To top off his tank and put some fresh rubber on his Pontiac. How far does he have to go? Well, there he is, coming up out of turn 4, and there's Jeff McClure. About a straightaway difference between him and the leader.
See, Jeff Purvis' car looks like it's pushing just a little bit in the center of the corner. He goes high, but McClure's car able to run through the corner a little bit faster. See, the damage on Jeff Purvis' car, he sustained that damage when he made contact with Mike Skinner's car over turns 1 and 2. Here comes our 3rd place battle. Greeback loses it to Mickey Gibbs. Now Gibbs in 3rd place. Bob Greeback in 4th.
Good run for Bob Greeback, former ARCA Series champion. There's Mickey Gibbs left of your screen, the car number 50, the Slick 50 for Thunderbird. Said he plans to run about 15 Winston Cup races next year with the Bobby Jones team.
And here comes Mike Wallace, number 20. That's right behind Frank Kimball. 0-2, the red car is Frank Kimball out of Louisville, Kentucky. 5th place battle goes to Wallace. Drops Kimball back to 6th. I'll tell you what, Wallace is flying this afternoon. He looks like he goes on the free back and just takes that spot away. Creeped up a little bit, forcing no contact.
Mike Wallace inhaling the field as he has come from 19th position on the restart to now take the 4th spot away. That's his sights on Mickey Gibbs, Jeff Purvis, and our leader, Jeff McClure. And Benny, this car didn't exist on Monday of this week. They went and picked the car up, and they purchased by a family friend, Mike Pritchard, and there are the two cars he's chasing. Talking about Mike Wallace chasing the car number 89 of Jeff McClure and Jeff Purvis.
Both these fellas are neighbors almost. Jeff McClure from Harrisburg, North Carolina. Mike Wallace down there in Concord, about 4 or 5 miles from Jeff McClure. In fact, Mike Wallace is a neighbor of mine. He lives about a quarter of a mile from me.
Taking a look at Jeff McClure, we'll try the interval back between McClure, who has a rear window full of the car number 1 of Jeff Purvis. He works around Clay Young's Pontiac in the car number 5. Once again, checking the interval between the first place car of McClure and Mike Wallace's Pontiac, just now coming out of turn 4, and it's 5.4 seconds.
5.5 seconds, so we'll be able to see now if Wallace is able to get any closer to this lead draft, lead pack. You know, Billy Woodruff was supposed to be the crew chief on that 20 car down here this week, but
Got a phone call.
he got here, got a phone call. His wife Karen said, "Honey, come home, I'm going to have a baby." And about 15 minutes after he got there, she had the child, a little girl. Okay, let's see, it's 5.4. Now it's, hey, he's losing ground. McClure is driving away.
I tell you, I spoke with Jeff McClure. He was telling me he was going to dedicate this race to his
Gary
dad.
Teague just blew an engine. Gary Teague, the Kanawha Insurance automobile, just blew down the front straightaway. Had a great run going.
Well, he was being shown in the 8th spot, Benny. He, in cooperation with Derek Close Racing, as they get the halfway signal, that time by 102 laps complete, and Kerry Teague will take that car, the Kanawha Insurance Oldsmobile, to the garage area. Started to tell you about Jeff McClure, our leader in car number 89.
You'll receive Bree back, Frank Kimmel, and the 2 car. Loy Allen, once again, the Hooters Ford, trying to get by Kimmel. That's for the 6th spot. They're alongside each other. And Loy Allen has the spot.
Frank Kimmel will be the Rookie of the Year this year on the ARCA Tour.
Look here, Loy Allen tries to get on the inside of Bree back and take that spot away. He has position, takes the spot.
That would be the 5th position for Loy Allen. Back up front to Jeff McClure in the car number 89. McClure is our leader. Jeff Purvis running in 2nd spot. As the young man trying to get his first ever win in ARCA competition. 25-year-old Jeff McClure leads the way just past the halfway point. Back with more after this. Back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. John Kernan, Denny Parsons, and yours truly, Gary Punch, bringing you the ARCA finale for 1992, the Motorcraft 500.
Caution flag is out, Jerry. Caution flag once again. I don't see a spin or smoke. I don't know. Evidently, there's some debris on the racetrack or something because the ARCA officials have thrown the caution. There's 7th caution flag of the day. By the way, we all tell the folks where Ned is.
Ned has laryngitis.
He feels fine, but you know, he talks and nothing comes out. So he's back at the hotel resting this afternoon. But he'll be here tomorrow.
He indeed will be. As you see the caution flag waving once again for the 7th time today. A drive shaft has come out from beneath one of these race cars on the racetrack, and that certainly would make it a little bit difficult to race with that debris on the track, as you so aptly put it, BP. And so we're under caution for the 7th time today. A break somewhat for Mike Wallace, able to reel in down the leaders, and he has fresh tires. Pretty full tank of fuel, so he'll be in good shape.
He'll be able to stay out while these leaders will probably have to go in and make a pit stop because now they can make it on one more stop as well. There's a leader, Jeff McClure, the black car, pink.
We mentioned he was dedicating this race in the memory of his father. When Jeff McClure was at Texas World Speedway back in September, his father, Billy Don McClure, had a heart attack and lost his life, did not survive. And Jeff says, I'm going to continue racing for 1992 and dedicate this finale here in Atlanta to the memory of my dad, who was a publisher of a racing magazine, I believe, and everyone in that crew,
Collector's World
was wanting to make sure that everyone knew that he was going to be running this race for his father. Empty pit road right now, where we'll watch and see if it fills up in a hurry as
Here comes
Ford
McClure, here
safety
comes
car.
Purvis. But we see Wallace stays on the racetrack, so does Loy Allen. There we see McClure stayed out in front of those fellas till the last moment and dive for his pits so that they would have to slow down to follow him. Might save him a half a second or so. There we see one of the Keystone guys change to the right front. His crew is on the jack.
Let's go down to John Kernan in the Purvis pit. John?
Well, we're in the Purvis pit. It's a 4-tire change. Mickey Gibbs just came in and topped off with fuel. He was running one position behind Purvis. The crew going to work now on the left side, and you look at the tape on the front grille where they've taped things up, and that was from that earlier altercation where he got into someone earlier in the race. That really affected the car, and in fact, they just had to tape a little bit. Now they're trying to get the windshield very, very clean, some oil and stuff out there on the racetrack. Also putting down a piece of tape. The sun kind of getting into Purvis's eyes as he goes around 3 and 4. Bobby Bowser is also in on pit road for service. And Vinny, as you said, a lot of these cars will only need one more pit stop to go. 4 tires for the Bowser effort. Or, excuse me, not 4 tires are all. They're cranking some wedge into. He's been having a bad push problem all day long, and they still have not gotten that solved.
Well, despite the push problem, John, Bobby Bowser has been shown in the top 15 at 15th spot. And we mentioned that points championship race. Bob Keselowski was being shown in 12th position now. Keselowski has been having a better day thus far, but he'll have to have a much better day. Remember, he must finish at least 12 spots in front of Bobby Bowser to overtake him and win his second ARCA championship. There is our leader, Mike Wallace, a pole sitter, and he set a record in qualifying here in Atlanta. Now back up front where he spent most of the afternoon. Back with more after this. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're just about 92 laps away from crowning the 1992 ARCA National Champion. Good crowd on hand, Benny, as they're enjoying a lot of action here in the first 111 laps. Now let's talk about the point race in just a moment. We mentioned Bobby Bowser was 65 points ahead coming in. Now he's led a lap.
He's led a lap. That's 10 bonus points in ARCA rule. So now he has a 75-point lead over Bob Keselowski. So, and it's 5 points per position back to ARCA. So he has to finish 16 spots ahead of Bowser now to win. 16 spots.
Man, he was quick with that math.
Oh, yeah, I can math to it.
You borrowed Bob's calculator? Is that what it is?
Yeah, right.
Mike Wallace being shown as our leader as we are riding inside with Bob Keselowski, who is currently being shown back in the 12th spot. Keselowski did not fit. In fact, Keselowski being shown corrected in 4th position. And let's check in with John Kernan in the pits.
Just talking with Buddy Parrott, who is Rusty Wallace's crew chief, but today he's also working for Rusty's brother Mike, kind of advising things in the pits, calling the shots. He's the one who decided to the last moment, the last caution, to have Mike duck on pit road and take a little bit of a gamble and only have to make one more pit stop. He was talking with Rusty on the radio just a minute ago, and he says Rusty's over in the garage area sitting on top of his truck watching this race and helping spot a little bit for his brother Mike. And Buddy says, you know, he's starting to sound a little bit like Roger Penske over there, the way he's getting on the radio and talking to us.
He's probably heard quite a bit from Roger this year with the kind of luck they've had. They have had, if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong for that team. Hopefully that season their luck will change in 1993. Back to green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lap 114, 204 comprise the Motorcraft 500k.
As Tim Fiedler with a red car, the 55 one. Oh, and they make contact. Wallace almost lost control, but here he comes back. But Fiedler, remember, he was black flag for jumping a restart, trying to get a lap back.
Tim Fiedler being shown back in the 17th position, 1 lap down. That's the car number 55.
Loy Allen is in fact the second place car. The orange and white number 2, the Hooters Ford. Watch this down in turn 1, folks. They go down in the corner. Fiedler comes up, just makes a little bit of contact. The car goes sideways, and look, Wallace did a great job in saving that car.
An outstanding job to keep that car from spinning up there across the track. Mike Wallace, the car number 20, our leader. Fiedler a lap and about 5 car lengths behind.
And look, here comes Mickey Gibbs. to get by Loy Allen. That slick 50 Ford still running awfully well for Gibbs.
He didn't take tires, though. He just came in and just took gas and came back out.
Just took gasoline.
Car number 47, Johnny Chapman, apparently slowing.
He was running sixth. I'll tell you what, I met that young man earlier with Bill Douglas down in the ARCA garage area. What a super young man he is up in Stony Point, North Carolina. 1991 Daytona Dash champion. Right in front of Keselowski, comes off the corner. Keselowski goes to the inside, and Chapman just moves over. And Keselowski goes by on the outside.
And the Bob Cooper old Oldsmobile begins to slow a little bit. Fortunately, he pulled the thing down out of the groove and prevented any further problems. Meanwhile, back up front, Tim Fedewa.
He's hanging in there, isn't he, Jerry?
Hanging tough. Trying to reel in Mike Wallace now to a car link. Fedewa was saying, if I can just get around Wallace, I got a quick enough car, I can win this thing.
Very well. Meanwhile, those two cars with a couple of cars on the Loy Allen and Mickey Gibbs automobile. Tim Fedewa is supposed to run Bushcraft National next year, full schedule for Brady Witt, if I'm not mistaken. Fedewa at 55 car.
Signed a 4-year contract with Ray and Diane DeWitt. That's sort of the wave of the future, signing these young drivers to long-term contracts. They realize these kids have a lot of talent, so if you get one, you should hang on to it.
Like Bobby Labonte and Bill Davis signed a 5-year contract with Maxwell House yesterday morning. 5 years. Bill Davis, who is the owner of Jeff Gordon's #1 car, the Baby Ruth Ford on the Bushcraft National, is going Winston Cup next year with Maxwell House as a sponsor and Bobby Labonte as his driver.
And car number 28 just going around Bob Keselowski, who was being shown in the 5th position. He has now lost that spot to Charlie Wattsback, and he's about to lose another spot to Jeff Purvis.
His car is off the pace just a little bit. It's not that much, but his car is a little bit off the pace because I saw Purvis just drive up right. We see him go right by. He couldn't do that earlier, Terry. Look how easy it was. There's something wrong with Keselowski's car.
Now you see him holding that steering wheel hard to the left there down in turns 1 and 2. You're turning the car here for 1 mile of this 1.5-mile racetrack. Definitely off the pace there, Keselowski. You can see the other car beginning to approach in a hurry on the outside. Back up front, Tim Fedewa looking to the inside of Mike Wallace. Wallace has a David Evans engine in the car. Who's David Evans? He is the engine owner for Penske Racing, older brother Rusty Wallace. And now Fedewa looking to the inside. Wallace takes the middle groove, and Fedewa keeping the car right on the bottom of the racetrack.
He is keeping the car on the bottom of the racetrack, not pushing up in the middle. If Wallace would move up about a half a car length, Fedewa would be able to get by. Oh, there goes the 29, another car going by. It's the 16 car.
That's Roy Payne.
Oh, that's right. He borrowed that car from Dale McDowell. He crashed his car, and borrowed the car from Dale McDowell to start the racing. Let's see, Bowser's in 13th spot, and Keselowski is in 8th spot. So only 5 positions separating the two right now. And Keselowski going back towards Bowser. If Bobby Bowser can just keep it going, he could be the 1992 ARCA champ. His father was the ARCA champ 2 years back in the 60s.
That's Jack Bowser. And indeed, he was an ARCA champion, and a company that he's been able to win the ARCA championship, he won. He helped me win the couple of championships.
That's right.
Talked about what a job Tim Fedewa was doing.
Whoa! Fedewa right down on the bottom of the racetrack, just turns that car. Looks like he's alongside. He's trying to get alongside Mike Wallace. He's patient. First he takes the lead, but he gets a lap back. That's all.
Tim Fedewa, 25 years of age from Holt, Michigan, gets back in the lead lap, but Mike Wallace is still our leader here in Atlanta. Back in a moment. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, caution for the 8th time today, and this time it bites one of our leaders, Mickey Gibbs, in the car number 50, the Slick 50 sponsored Ford Thunderbird, who was being shown in 3rd position, has come into contact with the concrete. Benny, what happened? And look at turns 1 and 2.
I know this is Loy Allen. He's following, going down in turn 1, and ooh, the rear spoiler flew off the car. The rear spoiler flew off the car, Jerry. He goes down in the corner and has no rear spoiler, and I'm sure the car is just going to fly around. Let's see.
Got it one, didn't we?
Boy, he almost saved it. The car started to come around. He got back in the throttle, turned the wheel, but the car jerked around.
You know, that little, we talk about spoilers and bending them up, bending them back, what it changes a race car. Once again, we see Mickey Gibbs go up, hit the wall, but we see him bending the spoiler up and down. That's how critical they are.
And that absence of a spoiler shortened that race car by about 2 feet for Mickey Gibbs. And unfortunately, you see there, part of the inside of the spoiler was still intact, but just half the spoiler.
He blew the right side off the deck.
And here comes
55 car did. That was a breaker 10 feet away. He has his lap back now.
As Mike Wallace comes to pit road. Take a look once again and watch the spoiler come off the right side.
Just flies right off on the racetrack. And we can see that the right side of the spoiler is gone off Mickey Gibbs' Slick 50 car.
And here's Mike Wallace on pit road. What should be, well, he'll have to make one more stop. They go to work on the right side. Buddy Parrott, the rest of the Penske crew, that normally will be pitting Rusty Wallace in the Winston Cup race tomorrow.
There's Brad Parrott, the Rebestis guy changing the front tire.
And Bob Keselowski on pit road. John Curtin is there.
Well, it'll be a 4-tire change. You were talking about how Bob was kind of drifting back and drifting back. Well, they've had to make some more alterations to the left front, the sheet metal. They've actually had to cut a lot of that fender away, and that has seriously affected the aerodynamics and the handling out there on the racetrack. Was talking with Ron, and Loy Allen will beat Mike Wallace out of the pits. And I was talking with Ron Keselowski, his brother and also crew chief. He says, hey, the reason we're not running any good anymore is because we're beat up on all 4 corners. And he leaves the pits with 4 new tires.
Well, beaten and battered or not, he is still in the points battle because we still have about 70 laps to go, Benny. Under caution for the 8th time a day. Pit stops have been the order of the day. Back with more Green Flag Racing from Atlanta after this. Stay with us. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, 128 of 204 laps complete, and Jeff McClure, our leader. Jeff Purvis in second, Frank Kimmel, Bobby Boucher, and Charlie Glotzbach rounding out the top 5. We hope you're enjoying our Speedway coverage of the Motorcraft 500 from Atlanta, being brought to you by Pennzoil, America's #1 selling motor oil for performance, protection, and quality. There's our leader, Jeff McClure. Young man looking for his first ARCA Series win.
You see Collector's World on the quarter panel. That's a magazine that tells the worth of racing collectibles. B.D. McClure, his father, one of the originators of the magazine and the collectible business, actually.
Take a look at our AutoZone race summary. Our leader, Mike Wallace, has led 99 of 125 laps. There have been 7 cautions for 34 laps. Lead changes 5 among 4 drivers. The average speed slowed by 8 cautions now, 110.39 mile per hour. Lap leaders, Mike Wallace, Bobby Boucher, Jeff McClure, and Mickey Gibbs, who just tagged the wall and called it a day. Out of race, well, quite a few drivers have had their problems here today. The latest being the car number 50 we just mentioned moments ago, Mickey Gibbs.
Brewers, you see, that's the older brother of Tim Brewer, Jeremy Mayfield, Mike Skinner, Ben Hess, Greg Rubite, and Bob Shack. See the cars bunching up for a restart, 2 abreast. We've seen this before. McClure and Purvis together, haven't they raced together all afternoon?
They certainly have.
You see Bowser back in 4th spot. That's Frank Kimmel in 3rd. That red car on the outside, Frank Kimmel.
And he will be the Rookie of the Year for 1992 in ARCA. Other 2 drivers who were vying for Rookie of the Year honor didn't make the starting lineup. Rick Shepard had a great year driving for Charlie Newby in a Chrysler, and Bobby Massey out of Birmingham destroyed his primary car at Texas, couldn't get the car rebuilt in time, borrowed a car, and just wasn't quick enough to get in the starting field. So by virtue of default and an outstanding year, Frank Kimmel will become the 92 Rookie of the Year.
Okay, folks, we're ready. Are you ready? Green flag is out.
73 laps away from crowning the 1992 ARCA Series national champion. And McClure isn't concerned about that. But one driver who wants to win it in a bad way. Whoa, look at the move inside, outside. Mike Wallace, our pole sitter, is coming in a hurry.
He went right by Bobby Bowser on the inside.
inside, and he passed Steve Perry on the outside. Now here comes Loyal trying to duplicate that, do the same thing. And now he's caught behind Perry, can't get by.
There's Mike Wren in the car number 83, just in front of Mike Wallace. Ball will dive to the inside in turn 1. Really gets the car pinched down against the apron.
Almost made contact with the 83 car, at least scared him to death.
Raises blood pressure a mite as the 83 car gets up out of the way, and Mike Wallace is on a tear. Now he begins to move in the car number 02.
Oh, and Mike Wren spins right in front of the home field. Is anybody going? Yes.
Bob Doddard.
Man.
Heavy contact with Bob Doddard, the 54-year-old three-time ARCA champion, had nowhere to go. He was up against the retaining wall when Mike Wren's car spun, and there's the remains of that Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Bob Doddard, long time campaigner in the ARCA division. Looked like Wren's car slowed on the bottom of the racetrack like he had a problem or something, and then all of a sudden the car just blew around.
There's Mike Wren, 39 years of age, driving an old Harry Hyde Stavola Buick.
Let's see, he's down the bottom of the racetrack. We see he's going slow, and all these cars go by him on the high side, on the low side. Now he has the car going straight again, but he goes up the racetrack right in front of Doddard. We saw the 2-car Loy Allen go by on the inside, and heavy damage to Doddard's car.
And I'm sure Bob Doddard thought he might have that one cleared. He was up against the wall. Wren's car came right up across in front of him.
And it looked like Wren's car was going to go right straight ahead, but you see the fellows talking to Doddard. We see Doddard moving around in there. Taking the radio off.
These drivers are told in the drivers meeting to stay in the cars until the safety crews arrive.
See Wren's car, he's going along, and the car just all of a sudden goes right up under him, and he was not going that fast. It's like he had a flat tire or something happened to his car. Look at all these cars going by. Boom. Man.
Bob Doddard, now having climbed out of the car, 54 years of age, and those impacts have got to hurt. Those of you just speaking of impacts, those of you tuning in expecting to see the Big Bud Shootout scheduled to air at 3 p.m. today. That will now air at 3 a.m. That's the Big Bud Shootout, the NHRA Big Bud Shootout, coming up at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. As Bob Doddard walks toward the rescue squad there, the ambulance and safety crews.
That's a good sign. And we'll see him walking over to him. They're going to take him to the hospital, check him out, but at least when they can walk over to him, you feel like he's got a chance anyway.
And we've got a big ARCA shootout here yet to go, as who will become the champion for the 1992 season and who will win the ARCA season finale at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll answer that when we come back. After 134 of 204 laps, Jeff McClure, our leader, Jeff Purvis in second, Frank Kimmel is third, Mike Wallace, and charging Charlie Glotzback all the way up to fifth spot. The championship still up for grabs. We are riding right now with Bob Keselowski, car number 29, being shown back in the 12th position. By our calculations, he is now some 75 points behind Bobby Boucher. That's Vinny math. And he figured he got to finish about 16 spots in front of Boucher to overtake him and win the championship.
Exactly right. And the 21 car is in fact in front of him. So cars are going through the first and second corner.
Now, Benny, earlier on some pit stops in the last few minutes, we've seen crews come out and begin to put tape across the windshields.
That's because going in turn 3 in Atlanta, when the sun is bright as it is today, you get a glare. The sun, you drive into the sun, and it makes visibility almost impossible. The car's now going off turn 2, down the front back straightaway, and we can see no problem right now. But we'll see when he gets to turn 3 and turns into turn 3, how the visibility just goes away.
Turn 3 having been a pretty hot corner most of the afternoon. Some of the drivers unable to actually see out of their windshield as one incident occurred over there. Now looking at the right side of that windshield, and they get into the turn, you begin to see the sun and the glare come across. That gets pretty difficult to see.
Watch him as he turns, and all of a sudden now he's almost directly into the sun, and we can see just how difficult visibility is.
at 185 or 190 miles an hour. That could be absolutely frightening.
Well, we're down here in Keselowski's pit, and guys, you know, we've talked about his problems today and how they've had to cut off part of that left front fender. Well, there are what? There are 69 laps to go in this race. This race is thereabouts. Well, what they're planning to do with 1 lap to go is come down and pit, gas and go is what we're thinking about right here. They think they can go 70 laps. They're going to roll the dice here because they know everyone else is still going to have to stop. Of course, this strategy will only work if the green flag stays out. If it goes yellow, then you throw that strategy out the window. That's what they're looking at right now, gas and go here with 1 to go. Jeff Purvis, who's now in on pit road, work going on his car. They will put on 4 tires. Purvis been in a little bit of trouble today, but he's also been one of the contenders. And they've got the tape on the windshield that they're trying to prevent that glare, as Benny talked about, as you go in turns 3 and 4. Now they will clean the windshield. A lot of oil we've noticed on the windshields as they've come in, so a lot of cars spitting out some oil. So they've got to get that nice and clean, make sure that tape is down. Jeff's sitting here on pit road, waiting, and finally he will pull away.
And Benny, we're talking about strategy now for Ron and Bob Keselowski. Ron Keselowski, the older brother, he is the crew chief. And they're going to roll the dice a little bit. I mean, it could work.
It could work. Certainly could work. I think that's why Purvis stopped. He must be thinking about going the rest of the way on the tank. Look at that. Did you see why they put that piece of tape across the top of the windshield? Trying to get a little bit of a sun visor to keep that sun from the driver's eyes.
There's Ron Keselowski, and he is the older brother and pretty doggone good race driver in his own right.
That's right. He used to run NASCAR, wants to cut back in the early 70s.
Talking back and forth between, that's Ron Keselowski, you see, talking, and you're riding along now with Bob Keselowski. Ron is 46 years of age. He's the crew chief, and Bob is 41, or just turned 42.
Out of Detroit. Used to race against her father back when I was racing in Detroit, in the Detroit area. There's a good shot of Bob. The piece around the right side of his head, that's to support his head once he goes in the corner. He lays his head over against that thing and gets some support for his neck muscle.
That car now currently being shown in the 5th position. Car number 29 is 5th. We mentioned Jeff McClure is the leader.
Never know. They could stop right now, and it worked. Jerry worked to perfection. They could win the championship and leave Bowser back in 2nd spot. That's what they're trying to figure out.
We talked about the youngster, Bobby Bowser, or the veteran, Bob Keselowski. And last year, Bobby Bowser had a 100-point lead coming into the final 2 events, blew 2 engines in a row, and gave the championship to Bill Venturini. He doesn't want to give it up today to this man, but certainly a move that could possibly win him a championship, as they are still sweeping and cleaning the track where the heavy impact occurred just moments ago. Car number 83 involved, as was Bob Dotter in the car number 8.
That's right, Mike Wynn and Bob Dotter. Now let's see, is the ARCA officials going to give 1 to go this time? Yeah. 1 to go, 1 to go. Evidently, they didn't get the signal from ARCA. There was going to be 1 to go. Not able to get in and get that gasoline. Here comes Roy Allen down pit road. Here comes the Dennis Setzer car. Also, Roy Payne's in. All these fellows trying to go the rest of the way.
And it didn't work. They were waiting for that signal for the 1 lap to go side, and they did not see it, or whatever happened. They did not make the entry on the pit road, and now that fuel strategy will not work.
Boy, I tell you, well, Ronnie's not a happy camper.
And Bob can't be, too. He's not smiling at all inside that race car either.
Checking the mirror out.
Now we'll have to make a pit stop on everybody else.
Maybe they just came to us, so we will talk about that once again there. So, did you not get the signal early enough, Ron, or what happened there?
Well, I thought I told him to come in, but he didn't come in, so we're restarting now. We're too late.
All right, well, that's Ron Keselowski. Sorry about that, guys, but I could hear the conversation going on down here, so I thought maybe you had thrown it down here to me. Hope I didn't step on anyone's toes.
Not at all, John. We just wanted to eavesdrop a little bit for Ron and Bob and tough break. They had the right idea, but it just didn't work.
Just didn't work. He told him to come in. Evidently, he didn't understand what he said on the radio. Chose not to come in. Here we go. Jeff McClure leads him down. Green flag.
Lap 140, 64 laps away from conclusion here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There are 12 cars on the lead lap.
Frank Kimmel in the second place. The red car on the outside. Bob Breback on the inside. The blue car lap down.
Here comes Mike Wallace in the car number 20. Wallace on the outside of Kimmel. Kimmel, the 02, gets up in the middle group. Wallace has to slide a little bit higher up in turn 3.
That Glossback in third, fourth spot back there.
That's Charlie Glossback.
Oh, look at all that oil dry there. Mike Wallace comfortably in second place. Here comes Tim Queen. Remember, he made his lap back. Oh, there's the Roy Payne car blown down in turns 1 and 2. High on the racetrack.
Way up on the top part of the racetrack. Meanwhile, up front here,
Wallace has taken the lead.
Mike Wallace has been able to go around Jeff McClure to take the lead. Thus far, no yellow flag, and we do not see a yellow flag or caution flag. And they've been able to get the Roy Payne car down on the inside.
Ooh, speed. Frank Kimmel almost hit the wall up in 1 and 2. Here's the pass for the lead we saw just a moment ago. And the caution flag does come out as we see Mike Wallace take the lead. The caution flag does wave.
Caution flag for the 10th time today. Here's one car that obviously has come into contact with the concrete, car number 64.
Steve Perry.
That's the North Richland Hills, Texas driver in a Chevrolet. Now Bob Keselowski waving the drivers behind him, signaling that the caution is out. Oil down in turn 1 is what we are being told now.
And I said to Frank Kimmel, almost hit the wall. Watch this as he goes in the corner. And he must have gotten some oil because he goes up awfully close to the wall. Comes down, does not hit the wall. But I think Steve Perry might have hit the wall.
And here's the car number 64 that apparently did tag something. Looks to have some damage on that car.
This fellow wants to race. Jerry talked to him. He has moved to Shelby, North Carolina, to be closer to Busch Grand National, to Winston Cup. And where we see he's up against the wall down in turns 1 and 2. So evidently there was some oil down there he got into.
Steve Perry, his first ever ARCA start, ran sprint cars for 15 to 18 years in the World of Outlaws, an open wheel competition. He drove one Winston Cup race at Dover, Delaware last year for Judy Dunlap. And his ARCA day in Atlanta comes to an end after 142 laps. He will head to the garage area.
There we see McClure coming down pit road to make his final pit stop, hopefully. His final pit stop. Jeff McClure comes to stop. Collectors World Chevrolet. Right side's going on.
Terry Allen, the crew chief on that car. Now you're looking at Bob Keselowski coming in. Norman Degree there in the red shirt. Car builder is Ron Keselowski and the crew working on that car. Here's McClure exiting the pits. He is further up pit road, and he will come down pit road, but Keselowski is also exiting closer down toward turn 1. We're under caution for the 10th time today at Atlanta Motor Speedway, about 67 laps away from naming a champion. Stay with us. And the number 43 appropriately being flown over Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's a big balloon.
And believe me, Richard is not in the booth.
No, that's not him, folks. And I guarantee you he is sky high about his opportunity tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Live flag-to-flag coverage of the Winston Cup finale, Hooters 500, the King's final ride. And following that, folks, have the Hankies Handy Portrait of a King. Brought to you by First Brands, a 1-hour special tribute and salute to say farewell to King Richard. That immediately follows the Hooters 500 tomorrow, which begins at 12:30 p.m. What a day.
A long time since I've seen a stock car race without Richard Petty. I have seen a stock car race. I've been to North Wilkesboro in 1955, 57, before Richard Petty started his career, but a long time.
There'll be a lot of tears on pit road. Drivers, crew members, and fans, and friends, and
A couple of booths.
maybe a few pit reporters, too.
Yeah.
special day. And right now, we're having a very special day for the ARCA Series, Automobile Racing Club of America Series. What a beautiful day for racing. There's a small balloon, and we've been getting some great shots from the airship Shamu, piloted by Alan Judd, Bill Steekers. Camera work there from Scott Johnson. They're based in Orlando, Florida. The SeaWorld blimp, the airship Shamu, giving us some great shots here of this ARCA finale. One lap to go. Winding down, 145 laps complete, 204 comprising this 500-kilometer event. Will it be Bobby Boucher, the youngster, 26 years of age, winning his first championship, becoming the first second-generation driver to win an ARCA title? Or will Bob Keselowski come from behind and win his second ARCA Series championship?
Well, right now, there's only, what, how many cars on the lead lap? 11? So as long as Bowser can stay on the lead lap, he's okay. Because that's only 55 points. He has a 75-point lead. He just needs to stay on the lead lap. You say, why should he try to win the race? He's trying to win the war. He's not concerned about winning this battle. He wants to win the war. And the ARCA official is waving the yellow flag, which is telling the crews that they're not going green this time. They probably have a little bit too much oil dry down in turn 1 to throw the green flag.
And while they work on the racetrack, we'll get set for more green flag racing. We'll take a quick break and come back so you don't miss a thing from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back in a moment. Back in Hampton, Georgia at Atlanta Motor Speedway. John Kernan, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Pudge, bringing you the final laps of the ARCA Championship battle. Motorcraft 500k. And the sun and glare is getting worse and worse in turn 3. And you see them double file there, Benny, getting set for the restart.
And when they decided not to restart the last time, Mike Wallace, the leader, chose to go in the pits, make a final pit stop, get topped off with fuel, should be ready to go the rest of the way. Here we go. Green flag is out. There's Bobby Bowser right at the end of the pack, exactly where he needs to be. Stay there, Bobby.
Only 11 cars on the lead lap. He will need to finish 17th or worse if Keselowski were to win it to lose the championship.
There's our leader, Charlie Glassback. Glassback started way back, said his car just wasn't handling right, but now seems to be running okay. Here comes the Mike Wallace car. He's flying through the traffic once again. How many times have we seen this happen today, Jerry?
And same chapter, different lap. As Mike Wallace continued to just came in, popped it off, and I've done this before. He's going to have to pick his way beneath H.B. Bailey's car number 36, the Houston, Texas veteran. And he's got Bob Reback, the former ARCA champion, in front of him with the car number 34.
Wallace goes by Bailey. Goes in on the back of Reback. They want Tim Peters back there right behind him, trying his best to get by this traffic as well. There's Speedway with the red cars, the battle of the red cars. That's Frank Kimmel on the outside, followed by Speedway going by H.B. Bailey.
Remember, Tim Feedaway has come from a lap down, did a tremendous job to get that car back on the lead lap. The caution came back out, allowed him to have a shot at victory. Jeff McClure in the car number 89. Whoa!
Oh, took a little air off the spoiler. No contact, just took a little air off the spoiler.
That's a battle for 5th position. The 89 car in 5th place. Mike Wallace turns it hard left on the inside of the track. Takes a spot away. Here comes Speedway.
Here comes Tim Speedway. You're right. He is flying. Motorcraft, Parts, Ford, moving well. Ready to win. Trying to win on that car. Where's Tim from? Say Holt, Michigan.
Holt, Michigan.
We're in diameter from Jackson or Lansing, Michigan. There's the leader, Charlie Glassback, still leading. Jeff Purvis in second. Loy Allen.
They are closing in on Glassback, and you're looking now out of the front window of Bob Keselowski.
Hey, he got racy all of a sudden, didn't he, Jerry?
I've heard you say that he has to win this thing if he has a shot at the championship.
Look at Keselowski go. He lost him in the sun there for a moment.
That's the Mopar Chrysler LeBaron in 4th position. The Hooters Ford of Loy Allen Jr. right in front of him in 3rd spot, and in front of Loy Allen. You just look out of the windshield, you can see the car number 1, the white car. It's Jeff Purvis, and in front of Purvis, our leader. There you go, the black machine, white number 1 car number 28 for Charging Charlie Glotzback.
Purvis closes in. These cars starting to pull away from just a little bit. Meanwhile, Bobby Bowser back in 11th spot, still on the lead lap. That's all he's got to do. Stay on the lead lap. He wins the championship.
He is the final car on the lead lap. Talking about the car number 21 of Bobby Bowser.
Mike Wallace looked beat. What's called Mike Wallace. It was. These two cars might be flashing the field right now, Jerry.
They're about a quarter of a lap behind. That's Mike Wallace, the car number 20, our pole sitter.
And they're running 5th and 6th. Could be excited, I'm sure.
Now, Ray and Diane DeWitt, who owned the car and co-owned the car that Ted Musgrave drives in Winston Cup Racing, and also owned this car, number 55, the 6th place machine of Timmy Fiedler.
Here we are, back to the lead, and Jeff Purvis has caught Glotzback. And look, Loy Allen's back there. Great battle for the lead. Look at Loy Allen trying to get by Purvis.
Loy Allen, the car number 2, the Ford Thunderbird. It's a pair of Chevrolets. The 28 and 1 car are both Chevrolets. The car number 2, a Ford Thunderbird, and behind them the car number 29, it's the Chrysler LeBaron. Looking out of the windshield, looking at the battle right in front of Bob Keselowski. The lead threesome as Keselowski sees it coming out of turn 4.
And we see Jeff Purvis is the one that has tape on his windshield. The rest of these guys evidently feel like they can see well enough. Bumper to bumper, nose to tail. First 4 cars.
Got to give a call to Keselowski. That car aerodynamically not that sound, and he's hanging tough with those other 3 cars.
He is hanging tough. Here comes Purvis trying to get on the inside of Glotzback. We saw Mike Wallace and Tim Fiedler come into the shot.
Purvis tries to make the move up high, getting a shot from the airship Shamu, coming out of the banking of turn 2, down the back straightaway.
We see Loy Allen on the inside, trying to race him into the corner. Let the back out.
Purvis has the high line, has the momentum, pulls Loy Allen by about 3 car lengths coming out of turn 4. Front 4 still single file. Glotzback, the winner here 2 years ago in this ARCA finale back in November of 1990. And here are the 5th and 6th place cars bidding that are trying to catch the leader. Talking about Mike Wallace and Tim Feedaway. Feedaway makes a move.
He wants to get by Wallace, but really, truly, Tim would be better served if he can't make the pass to get in the line and don't race. Try to run down the leader and then worry about the lead.
And a challenge for the lead as Jeff Purvis looks to the inside.
Can't quite make it. Glotzback using every bit of experience he has to stay out in front. He doesn't have quite the car today that Purvis and Loy Allen has, but he's able to stay in front with experience.
Glotzback running a little bit of a higher groove than was Purvis and Loy Allen here a moment ago when they go by 1 car.
0-4 car. Uh-oh, here comes Purvis. They're side by side. You know, he has the taped windshield. He tried to pass on the inside, and here he goes on the bottom. In turn 1, Jeff Purvis has the lead.
And he also just about lost the tape as Glotzback slides high. The tape begins to peel off his windshield, but it served its purpose. Jeff Purvis has taken the lead. Glotzback is second. And now we'll see if the youngster Loy Allen can move to the inside and handle Charging Charlie for 2nd spot. There's a tape beginning to peel off of that Phoenix Construction Chevrolet of Jeff Purvis. If it had gone a lap earlier, he would have been able to make that move.
He might not be leading the race right now. You're right, Jerry.
Timing is everything.
The 200-mile-an-hour tape was only 160-mile-an-hour tape today.
Jeff Purvis, our leader, Charlie Glotzback, in second. And here's the battle once again, raging back for 5th and 6th position.
Wallace and Speedway.
Has Speedway ever raced here before, Jerry? Do you remember? Is this his first trip to the race? I don't think he has ever raced at this racetrack before. I mean, it's an impressive run for, and Mike Wallace has only been here twice in ARCA competition, so talking about some of the future superstars in racing, here are 2 of them right here.
That will certainly be a couple of them. We're going to back up to the lead. Let's don't forget about Purvis, Loy Allen, also Keselowski. Glossback, not a future star. He used to be a star in Western Cup racing. Glossback is closed back up on the back bumper of Purvis. We heard him lift down the throttle just a little bit. Talking about Keselowski.
Glossback driving the car for Floyd Garrett, who's driven 4 times this year.
Let's give you the cars in the top 11. It's Glossback, Jeff Purvis, Loy Allen, Keselowski, Mike Wallace, Tim Speedway, Frank Kimmel. Oh, here we go. Speedway's on the inside of Wallace, side by side. This is for 5th spot. He takes the spot away. Takes 5th away from Wallace.
Battle now for 2nd spot between Loy Allen and Glossback, as Glossback now begins to pull in a little bit on Jeff Purvis up in turn 3.
You see him close up on him at the end of that back straightaway? Wow.
Glossback's car is sliding up into turns. He has a lot of horsepower coming off, but the car loses about a groove and a half entering turn 3 and turn 1.
Just not getting through the turns the way that Glossback normally gets through the turns. Right now, Jeff McClure is in 8th spot. The 69 car is
Alan Russell.
Alan Russell, good run for him. He's in 9th. Dennis Sester in 10th, and Bobby Bowser in 11th spot. That's the top 11 cars.
11 cars on the lead lap. Less than 40 laps to go to claim a 1992 champion. Back after this. Stay with us. Our lineup tonight on ESPN College Football Scoreboard at 7 p.m. All the scores and highlights from around the country. At 7:30, CFA Primetime. Number 2, Alabama, the Crimson Tide, travel to Starkville, Mississippi to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. At 10:30 p.m., College Football Scoreboard update and Sports Center to follow at 11:30 p.m. tonight. Lots of action to come your way tonight on ESPN. And right now, we are winding our way toward the conclusion of the 1992 ARCA season. Just to remind you, Secrets of Speed will not be seen today. It will air next month. Check your local listing.
Meanwhile, we're watching the stock car race in Atlanta, Georgia. Automobile Racing Club of America trying to decide a champion today. Also, a race winner as Glossback tries to get on the inside of Purvis to take the lead and doesn't.
Charlie Glossback, 52 years of age, from Sellersburg, Indiana, looking to pick up win number 2 in the 1992 season.
Uh-oh, Keselowski's car is smoking, Jerry. Some smoke out of the back of Keselowski's car, looks to me like.
And that could end his championship hopes in a heartbeat. Seems to be running okay.
Car is running okay. Closed up running the back bumper off. Loy Allen, that's Loy Allen in the Hooters Ford.
Either that or he's decided to go ahead and push the throttle wide open.
Here comes Tim Speedway. He's the 5th place car. And Mike Wallace, once Speedway got by him, Mike Wallace wasn't able to keep up.
Mike Wallace may have used his tires up coming through the pack. A lot of heavy traffic. But this young man right here from Holt, Michigan, Tim Speedway, 25 years of age, former ASA Rookie of the Year. And answering your question earlier, Benny, he did race here last year in November in Atlanta, his ARCA debut. He finished 8th. An impressive start for a young man, and he's even more impressive today.
Here we see the leader, Charlie Glossback. Purvis in 2nd, Loy Allen is 3rd. Keselowski 4th. And Tim Speedway is 5th. Mike Wallace still hanging on the 6th spot. still running. Tell you what, just think how tough he would be if he had all the sheet metal on that car and all the fenders on it.
He's done his imitation of a cue ball today. Everything has bounced off of him, but he has just kept plugging away.
I mean, there's been 10 caution flags, and he was right in the middle of about 3 or 4 of them.
The 1989 ARCA champion, Bob Keselowski.
The 84 car, Tom Lorenz, was just black flagged by the ARCA officials. For what reason, I don't know, but he was black flagged. That means go in the pits and for consultation. Wrestling cars are not going up that smoke like the Keselowski car. Maybe you develop just a slight oil leak. But I don't see it down in turn 1. As Roy Allen pulls up on the back bumper of Purvis. That's Allen in the orange and white 2. Purvis in the white number 1.
And H.B. Bailey's car number 36th. Their Pontiac they're going by there in turn 3. Bobby Boucher, meanwhile, hanging tough in the 11th position. And John Kerman, he's got to be smiling.
Well, Jerry, I don't think he's smiling right now. I think he's experiencing ghosts and sounds in the race car. He just radioed in and told his crew that, hey, the engine sounds different. Now, earlier in the race, he told them the engine felt like it had lost a little power because it didn't want to pull off of the corners. They've been fighting a handling problem all day long. So even though he doesn't look like he's going to win the race today, if he hangs on and wins the championship, he will have earned it, and he'll probably be one tired young man by the time this day is over.
I got to believe that's the case. In fact, I believe he wore a hole in the pavement walking around that car in the garage all week, pacing and waiting and wondering if he would be able to hold on to win that championship.
Well, his dad, Jack Bowser, right now is boring himself into the ground in the pit area. He's making circles. Here's Keselowski, the guy second place in the point standings, trying to catch Bowser. He's currently running 4th, but Bowser is 11th. He needs 5 more positions. He needs to go to the front and have Bowser go back just a little bit. There's our leader, Charlie Glossback. Floyd Garrett trucking. Boy, Floyd Garrett has some beautiful old cars. Man. Keselowski. That was a shot from up in our blimp.
You ever hear ghosts in the race car, BP? He won the championship.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I heard everything there was to hear. And he's right. The engine doesn't feel good. The tires are all going to be flat. Look at that sun. Man, is that tough driving into that corner, not being able to see anything.
Had a driver tell me once that with 4 laps to go, he was getting ready to win the Winston Cup championship, and he could hear his heart beating. It was so loud he couldn't. He said, I wish that would stop. No.
We want that to stop.
No, that needs to keep going.
Oh, here comes Roy Allen. Evidently, Purvis got in the corner and got the car a little bit sideways because Roy Allen saw his opportunity and drove right up beside Purvis. Now, can he make it stick?
That's going to be a break for Charlie Glotzback as these two run door to door. That will allow Glotzback to slide away by another 4 or 5 car lengths. Roy Allen takes the spot, and let's see if Keselowski can get beneath Jeff Purvis. That's for the 3rd spot.
He's alongside, but can he take the spot away?
Right along with Bob Keselowski looking out the right side window at that Chevrolet of Jeff Purvis at 190 miles an hour up the backstretch. Now he falls back in line behind Purvis, entering turn 3.
Well, we can't see anything, just like he can't see anything. Steady on the throttle, we can hear the car wide open. Look at Roy Allen close right up on Charlie Glossback, getting closer and closer. Meanwhile, Tim Fedewa is getting closer and closer. If he doesn't run out of time, Tim Fedewa could win this thing because he's back in 5th spot, but he is coming.
And Fedewa is only about, there he is, the red car to the right of your screen, making about 10 car lengths back from Bob Keselowski in 5th position. What a story he has been. He was a lap down.
He was a lap down, that's right. Black flag for, just a restart or something, didn't he?
Got a problem early on, came back, fought his way back into the lead lap. Fortunately got a caution flag. And now the youngster from Michigan stands to get a top 5 finish, if not a victory, if he has enough time.
Now, Charlie Glossback will just hold up Roy Allen a little bit. Look how much faster Allen is than Glossback. He caught him. But now catching him and passing him, two different things. If he can hold Loy Allen up just a little bit. Oh, Glotzback's coming in.
Charlie Glotzback off the pace, slows dramatically and comes down pit road. Obviously not a scheduled stop for Charlie Glotzback here with less than 30 laps to go.
And Loy Allen's pit crew is going crazy. They're going to kill one another down there, slapping and hugging and throwing their arms up. Man, oh man. Here comes Glotzback. John Kernan.
Well, as you said, it was unexpected. He's coming in. They're changing the right side tire. See a lot of smoke coming up from that the right front of the car. The gasoline is in. Now they're working on that right side. They will come back around, and Charlie will go out. He has lost the lap. A bad break for Charlie Glotzback, but hey, what about Loy?
What about Loy Allen Jr. from Raleigh, North Carolina, 26 years of age, came on the tour this year, but it's not over, Vinny.
Oh, no, it's not over. Look at Tim Fedewa. The red car, the fourth-place car. He has caught this backup car. He's caught Keselowski. If he can get by these guys, Loy Allen's got big problems.
Talking about some of the young superstars, tomorrow's heroes on the speedways. Tim Fedewa, just 25 years of age. He is trying to reel him in fourth spot. Our leader, Loy Allen Jr., just 25 years of age, 26 years of age. So two youngsters, not even dry behind the ear.
And Jeff Purvis, 33 years old. So stock car racing is alive and well. As someone said, the present, the future is today.
Absolutely. And Tim Fedewa trying to give his future a shot in the arm as you look at Fedewa on the inside of Bob Keselowski.
Can't quite make the pass. Trying desperate to get on the inside. He's got to get to the front, get to Loy Allen.
Serious glare on those windshields, and these drivers not only wrestle to compete with each other, but to compete with the elements. The sun really creating a problem as they enter turn 3. You see the reflections off the windshields. Fedewa trying to move to the inside, may have enough momentum in the bottom in turn 4.
18 more laps, that's all, Jerry. He's got it, and he's alongside Purvis. Yes, he's up to second place.
Tim Fedewa has come from a lap down, and now Keselowski tries to make the move inside of Purvis. They are door-to-door, heavy traffic, and that is Bobby Boucher they're going around, the point leader, car number 21.
And looky here, Keselowski gets by Purvis, makes it 3 abreast. He takes third spot away, and here comes Fedewa.
What a race, ladies and gentlemen. We told you this finale would be exciting. Championship weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Once again, a puff of smoke, as you mentioned, Benny Parsons, coming out of Keselowski's Chrysler LeBaron.
13, 17 more laps. Well, 17, 16 more laps. I need to get tight on most of my map. I can't figure it out. Tim Fedewa, Loy Allen looks up. He realizes now that Fedewa has come from a straightaway back. He's caught us, so he must be fast. I've got to run hard.
Two young drivers hoping to really set their future ablaze, picking up their first win. Neither one have won an ARCA competition. Remember Daytona, Benny? Loy Allen Jr. surprised everyone, flanking that car on the pole for the ARCA 200 in our season opener from Daytona International Speedway. Fedewa has come on board after being Rookie of the Year in ASA last year to be so impressive at every outing this year for Ray and Diane DeWitt.
He sure has. Look, boy, Loy Allen able to keep that, maintain that 2 car lengths. There's Loy Allen's crew. I think that was Fedewa's crew. Just 2 car lengths now. People can't get any closer. Loy Allen must have looked up in the rearview mirror and said, I got to go and press the accelerator even harder.
Car number 2, a former Robert Yates car. They bought this car from Robert Yates, who owns the Davey Allison team. It's a Robert Yates engine in that Loy Allen Jr. car number 2, the Hooters sponsored car.
There's the crew watching him go by.
They're saying, man, the laps are winding down. 14 laps to go. And Timmy's doing a heck of a job.
Tell you what, Loy Allen might attract some Hooters sponsorship in 1993. Jerry, what do you think? This is a trial run.
I tell you what, they were going to sponsor him for 2 races, Texas and here. At Texas, he sat on the pole and finished 3rd. And here, he's got a shot at winning it.
What, he started about 10 spot or someplace?
Car number 2 started back in 15th position.
Wow. Looks like he's talking about somebody using the tires up. It looks like the Speedway is using the tires up and just can't make that run right now.
Getting set for what would be a 10-lap shootout here for the ARCA Championship and victory in the ARCA finale. Stay with us, folks. It's going to be a great one. Back in Atlanta in a moment. Back in Atlanta Motor Speedway in the final lap to the ARCA finale, the Motorcraft 500.
And folks, you see, you ain't missed a thing. It's still 2 car legs. Loy Allen, number 2. 55. Tim Speedway, 10 laps to go.
2 handfuls of fingers that time by from Doyle Ford, the flagman, along with Jim Clark in the flag stand. Bob Keselowski, you're riding now with him. He has backed off a little bit. Car number 29 being shown in 3rd position. And the points championship leader right now, Bobby Boucher, still holding the 11th spot.
He's lost a couple of laps, but no cars have come up the track, and he's still in 11th spot. He would be the champion at the end of the race if he could just maintain that position. There he is. In his 7-Eleven for farmers, is what you call that quality store?
Quality Farm and Fleet, they call it. Their convenience store for farmers, have everything. And he's hoping this car has everything to make it about 9 more laps.
There he goes by. And there's Loy Allen. Oh, there's the 29 car, excuse me. Keselowski's currently running 3rd, 2nd in the points. But he would come up about 30, 40 points short if he maintains that position.
And here are the 2 factors in the final laps here to win this thing. $134,911 up for grabs in this 500-kilometer event. 8 laps to go. Neither one of these young drivers has gone to victory lane in ARCA competition. Both have a bright future in anything they want to race.
Looked to me like, now look at Speedway, he's closed up. Was he trying to lay back, cool his tires, and make one run at him? What's the deal? Because look, he's right on his bumper. Ever see Jeff Purvis? He's the 4th place car. Speedway's car is picked up a push or something. He goes in the corner. He can't turn it like he did. The car goes in the corner and drifts up the racetrack. Not able to keep it on the bottom like he has been.
These 2 drivers have probably never raced like this before, but these 2 cars have been. We talked about being former Winston Cup cars. The 55 is a former Bud Moore Winston Cup car, and the number 2 car is a former Davey Allison Robert Yates car.
55 looks like a Bud Moore car. It's the same paint job and everything else. And it's Motorcraft 500. Uh-oh, there's some traffic right in front of them. There's 2 slow cars up in front. Now, how they handle this might make a difference. 6 laps to go. They're going to catch them.
Gonna have traffic as they enter up in turns 3 and 4.
There's Frank Kimmel right in front of them. There's the cars I was talking about. Now, Kimmel pulls up beside that other car and gets the race side by side like he's trying to do. Could be trouble for that one.
Actually, they're not slower cars. They're actually the 6th and 7th place cars. Frank Kimmel and Jeff McClure. That could be a problem.
Looky here, it is a problem. It's going to be a problem. Loy Allen's going to have to figure out which way to go because he needs to get around quickly.
Tim Fedewa now has lost some ground.
Kimmel moves over, lets it go. He goes by on the outside. Now then, Kevin McClure. Here comes Tim Fedewa, closes up. Okay, he's able to gain a couple of car lengths now then. McClure, that's the question mark. Can he get by McClure?
Jeff McClure hugging the inside group. Loy Allen about a car length back. Fedewa another 5 car lengths back with 4 laps to go in Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Here's another car on the inside, the 84 car.
That's Tom Lawrence. They go by him, and now on the outside of Jeff McClure, Loy Allen Jr., the car number 2. Fedewa is there, only a car length and a half back. Now Fedewa drops back to take his shot. Just 3 laps to go.
He got hung behind McClure. He got hurt. He got hung behind McClure. It's going to really hurt his chance of trying to win the race. Now, Kimmel is going to try to follow him to take that spot away. We see Kimmel. That's a race for what position? 6th spot. He takes 6th spot away from the pool.
That was 6th and 7th, but now with less than 3 laps to go, that's the interval right there. Can Tim Fedewa, who has come from a lap down in the Motorcraft-sponsored Ford, reel him in? The Hooters Ford of Loy Allen Jr.
It's like about 2 laps to go. 2 more. Meanwhile, Bobby Bowser still running 11th spot. Loy Allen trying to get just a little bit of draft off the slower car, pulls down.
That's Clay Young's Pontiac they're going by there. The interval, about 7 car lengths now. They'll get the white flag this time by Loy Allen Jr. from Raleigh, North Carolina. Started in 15th position. And the Hooters Restaurant Ford is now 1.5 miles away from picking up victory number 1 in ARCA competition.
And traffic will not be a problem, shouldn't be a problem. I see Dennis Setzer up there. I don't think they'll be able to catch it before they get to the start-finish line.
There's Tim Fedewa.
Maybe they will. Let's see, there is some slower cars up there. Oh, here he comes, Fedewa. Here he comes. Not able to catch Loy Allen.
Loy Allen takes the victory. Loy Allen is the winner of the race, and they are celebrating down in that groove. Victory for an impressive run.
Isn't that wonderful?
And Bobby Boucher has not taken the checkered flag yet. He is in 10th position, being shown 2 laps down, but that's all he needed for this young man. Bobby Boucher, 26 years of age, the Quality Farm and Fleet Ford, becomes the 1992 ARCA Series National Champion. Congratulations to Bobby Boucher and the Boucher family. Are they happy or what?
They are happy. I think drag Jack out of that hole he's dug for himself.
John Kernan is standing by with Mark Tudor, the happy crew chief for the winner, Loy Allen.
A sigh of relief, Mark. I tell you, you got really excited there. You jumped up. I thought you were going to slam dunk against Godzilla or something. Exciting win for you.
It was a very exciting race. It's a very competitive field. The Hooters Ford ran great today. We were extremely strong in the long green flag runs. That's what we really concentrated on, and it paid off for us here today.
Now, that sounds like a crew chief. What about the person inside? What's he feeling?
It's unbelievable. This whole deal, this whole year with this team has been unreal. This is a completely new racing team we put together this year. Loy Allen Jr., a rookie driver. Everybody on this team basically is rookies. And we've won a race due to it. We've had a lot of help from people in the Winston Cup garage. Everybody at Robert Yates Racing has helped us out tremendously. David If's helped us out tremendously. I can't say enough about the job Loy Allen Jr. does in that car to be a rookie. He uses his head. He drives a car like a veteran. It's just unreal.
Well, that's Mark Tudor is very happy. And Mark, we're going to let you head on up to Victory Lane, where we will be shortly. We'll also check in with Bobby Bowser, Jerry.
And there's Loy Allen being congratulated in Victory Lane, and here is the young man from Springfield, Ohio, who has to be smiling from ear to ear. And the crew now running up pit road to Bobby Boucher, who will take his first ARCA championship. We mentioned he finished 4th 3 years ago, 3rd in the points. Then last year he finished 2nd, and this year the natural progression. He wins the championship.
Well, I tell you what, Jack Bowser helped me so much back when I was running ARCA. Jack, I hope that you're as happy as you should be, because this is a great moment for you. That's the father of Bobby Bowser. And there's a bunch of Bowsers down there. There's Tony and Gary and Todd and Jack.
None of them can be as happy as Bobby Boucher. The effort they put in this year and last year to come here, to come into the final 2 races with a 100-point bulge. They blew an engine at Texas, lost the point battle, and came here and lost the championship.
John Kernan talked about at the top of the show about the factor. There's Michael Kranovitz, a guy with no hair, it looks like me. That's the head man for Ford Racing.
With the American flag on his jacket, he's got to be pretty happy. Ford picks up a championship here in ARCA. Let's go down to John Kernan, who's standing by with the man who is the 92 national champion. John?
Well, Bobby Bowser has the helmet off. He's wiped his face off a little bit. They're giving him one of the sweatbands. Remember Jim McMahon at the Super Bowl a few years ago with his sweatband? Well, there you got the sweatband there. Get a little advertising for the tire manufacturer that won the ARCA championship with Bobby. Oh, he looks really tired. He's coming out of the car. Yeah! screaming cheers from his fans. All right. Great moment for Bobby. I tell you what, you must have heard voices or ghosts all day long because you thought you had a flat tire, you thought the engine was going. It was just a rough day for you.
You ain't kidding, it was one of the longest days I ever been in a race car, but I tell you, the Quality Farm Fleet Ford Thunderbird, you know, wasn't perfect today, but it lasted all day long thanks to Ford Motor Company and Pro Motors. I can't say enough. Hoosier Tires, everybody that's helped me get to this point. I'm speechless.
Very excited, though. I mean, the way last year's second, you had the lead by 100 points with 2 races to go. To come back this year and to win it with Ford people down here and with before a national live audience has got to be great.
Well, you know, we started to come back at Springfield, and ever since then, we ain't let off. But thanks, Lee. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Nice job.
If it wasn't for Ford and a lot of other people, it just wouldn't be possible, and I can't say enough for everybody.
That's Bobby Bowser, the champion of the ARCA racing division, Jerry. And he's very, very happy, and they're going to get the celebration started right now.
And a big hug from Lee Morris. Can you believe the emotion of this young man winning a championship? We'll be back to talk with our race winner from Atlanta after this. Beautiful day for racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What an afternoon for ARCA competition, and what better way for this most versatile circuit to end its year. Well, let's go down to Victory Lane, where a young man has got to be smiling with John Curtis.
Lloyd, you know, you had to figure the way you guys had run this year, it was amazing you hadn't won a race already, but to do it here in the last race of the season at a big racetrack, Hooters on the car has got to be just unbelievable feeling.
Oh, it is. The Hooters ARCA Ford, I mean, it really came through today. We had a lot of help from a lot of people. I want to thank the crew, Mark Tudor, that helped us out, and especially Butch Stevenson. Ford, you know, you can't beat that. And, you know, a lot of people helped us out, and I think that the key today was just to try to stay calm and, you know, wait on the car to come to you. And it all worked out in the end, and I mean, we're excited.
I guess you were starting back 15th. You just had to take your time, pick your spots.
Yeah, that really was a lot of help from Butch Stevenson with BSR. I mean, he really helped me work the traffic, you know, and able to just calm me down and wait on everything and just keep me out of traffic. And I mean, I want to thank everybody. I mean, it was great. I just can't believe it.
You know, you dazzled us with the polls, the first appearance this year on ESPN. Now to close out the year with a win. Just how can you sum up the year?
Oh, I mean, with the first of the year, I think, you know, everything that we had the help from Robert Yates and Larry McReynolds and everything, that helped us get started. And really, you know, we weren't really thinking of anything like this. You know, the first of the year, we were just trying to make the races and get in there and finish the races. And that's all we really had in mind today was just try to play it calm. So, you know, some of the year, we can't believe we got a win here at the end. But, you know, thanks to Hooters for everything.
That's a happy Loy Allen in Victory Lane, Jerry.
Well, John, I'm going to talk about this. Remember at Talladega, John, when we talked about Loy Allen going to Drafting University? Yeah. He'd qualified so well, and he was going to school that day and was going to see how he did. He didn't do so well that day. He crashed, remember, coming off the second corner. Today, Jerry, he might have gotten his degree.
I think he's a graduate of Drafting U today, and certainly a graduate of the School of Victory Lanes at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We might mention, as you look at the final rundown here, Bob Keselowski finished in 3rd position today. He would gain 45 points, not enough, as he finishes second in the ARCA Series Point Championship battle for 1992. Bob Shack back in 25th, had a good run early on. Some of the other drivers, Craig Rubrot, that hard impact with the wall. 42 starters today, an exciting 500 kilometers of racing action here at Atlanta.
We see Kenny Allen back. Billy Big, remember, he crashed coming off turn 4. Mike Skinner ran so well, crashed up in turn 1 and 2. And Rich Bickle, remember that hard crash up in turn 4. And Tim Brewer's older brother, Glenn Brewer, finished 42nd.
Final point standings for 1992. Bobby Bowser, the series champion. Bob Keselowski, Bill Venturini, Roy Payne in 4th, and Frank Kimmel, who's the STP Prestone Rookie of the Year for 1992, finishes in 5th. Tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time.